Hey everyone. Hold on, let me back out and come back in again just in case it's like echoey and all that stuff. Holy crap, it's good to see all you guys here. All right, let me back out and come back in again. Okay, hopefully I sound good. Hello everyone. Erica, Sherry, X Sparkle, Baby X, Selena, Alberta, Caitlin, Faith, how are you? Hey Goose. Okay. If I missed anybody, I'm sure I'll see you again as I start talking because I'm not going to go all the way up. Hey, Regina. How are you guys doing? Hey, Winnie. All right. So I fell asleep. Every single time I do my hair over again, because when it's black, sometimes a majority of the time my hair is mixed in, but when it's different colors, it's just hard to work. It takes a lot out of me, so I always fall asleep. So I'm just sitting here going through stuff that's going on, and we went to Target. We had Chipotle, and I don't know, maybe it was a food coma. Then I started doing my hair, and I literally fell asleep. So, but I'm here, and I'm not that late, so that's good. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. It's good to see you guys all here. So I got to do something real quick before I pull something up. But obviously, you guys seen the title. I have been talking about the Justice for Vaughn, / Dre McCray case, and it is so overwhelming. Every day it's something new. However, I've also been covering Without a Crystal Ball and her coverage on this case. I started this case like 2 weeks ago, probably when it first started, maybe a day or two after. It really got popular after I started covering it, and obviously Justice for All and Molly Golightly. But anyway, Without a Crystal Ball, actually in the beginning, was a little bit covering this. She kind of collaborated with Molly Golightly and Justice for All in the beginning. And they were warned about her. And obviously, it doesn't matter how much you're warned about somebody, you need to see things for yourself. I don't know how many times I have to tell people that. It is what it is. Sometimes you can tell people how a person is, but people sometimes need to figure that out for themselves. And that's okay. You shouldn't necessarily go by what other people say. Some people have to learn things for themselves. And they did. They did very quickly too, which is great. But then she's still covering this case. She's still running her fucking mouth. She is still fabricating things. She's still being a bold-faced liar. Now she's slandering, she's doxing, and it's nothing different. And this is what Justice for All was warned about, right? They were warned about this. This is what she does. Every case that she does, she turns into a shit show. It turns into a circus. It does not matter what case it is. And it's like, you want to give her the benefit of the doubt. And I don't think everybody did. No. I don't think everybody did. I think most people, the majority of people who really, really know Without a Crystal Ball knows that she's incapable of giving the benefit of the doubt too. However, I genuinely think that even me, I know Katie Joy. I used to be a supporter of hers a long time ago. Then I've seen the type of person she was, especially with the whole Micah Stauffer thing, Saunders Kennedy, Tati, and then I actually started covering her. That was 2 years ago. That was in 2020. She's the reason why I added commentary to my channel. And I'm always going to tell you guys that because that's crazy. A person can make you so mad. Your channel is just solely makeup. And you're like, no, I got something to say. And you literally change it to commentary. So I added commentary. I didn't change it. I added commentary because I had some shit to say. So here we are again. And here is Without a Crystal Ball. And she's doing the same things. I'm not going to lie. In the beginning, I myself gave her the benefit of the doubt. No matter how much I knew her, when I was doing commentary on her, I kind of stepped away for a little bit because I needed a break. And this is when I started in 2020. I needed a break. She's toxic. She's very, very toxic. And even with me stepping away, to me, I would hope that she got better. But as I see her coverage on this case, she's not getting better. She's getting worse, right? So I don't understand how one person can be so destructive, so self-destructive. But hold on 1 second, you guys. Sorry, you guys, my kids. Hold on, let me read some of these. Diabolical, right? I looked her up on Reddit, and man, there's so many things wrong with this woman. Yes, she has a whole Reddit page, I think, dedicated to her. KJ is Darla Sherman's twin, the little girl with the head braces set in Finding Nemo. Agreed. I think he set the wrong date for an upcoming live. And she turns into a victim. She has to be a victim for her court cases. I agree. Yeah, she's too much. So, I mean, I'm sure that you guys have probably seen a lot of people talking about what she's done already. I'm going to go over what she's done throughout this whole entire case. When she started covering this case, obviously, like I said, I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt because she is, a bigger creator. And it is beneficial for a bigger creator to talk about this case. The more exposure, the better. However, that's not what she was doing. From the moment she got this case, she became very territorial, which you shouldn't be like that on YouTube, especially when you're collabing with somebody. And immediately she tried to take this case over as if she owned it. And you can't take a case over like you own it if you're working with two other people. And you literally tell people that you're, collabing with, well, my sources only want me to come to my channel. They only want this audio. They're very particular about it, and they only want this audio on my channel. Well, a real creator, a real reporter, with the right mindset, with a stable mindset, would never say anything like that. They would say, I'm going to play this audio on my channel. If you would like to come over and join me and commentate on this audio, that's great. And then I'm going to hand the audio over to you so you can play it on your channel, or other people can play it, or whatever the situation is. They're not going to say, can you just bring all your people over to my channel because it only needs to be played on my channel. Right there, I'm sure that gives some indication of what her thought process is when it comes to this case. Then she starts basically aligning herself with the family in a way that she is in close, direct contact with Von's mother, Letitia. She's in direct contact with the entire family, his father, his stepmother. That's what we were all pretty much thought, because that's the way she made it seem. Anytime that she would, put out a video about this case, every time at the end of her video, the last thing she would say is, I put out this I put out this video, but I always make sure that I get the okay from Von's family. Von's family are okay with me doing this. Von's family are okay with this. Constantly aligning herself with the family. And then it comes to find out that she's really not in direct contact with the family like she insinuated. Okay. She did enough stuff to a point where I think that the family just didn't want to align with her anymore. And that's understandable. I can see why the family wouldn't want to align with her, because at the end of the day, she's messy. And I think they started to see that. They started to see how truly messy this woman is. And I'm pretty sure the stepmother, Von's stepmother, had messaged Katie and told her, listen, please don't use my GoFundMe. Please lose my number. I won't contact you. I want no contact with you whatsoever. And I think that made Katie very, very mad. See, the point of this whole entire thing is this case didn't go Katie Joy's way. She wanted all of the attention to be on her. And if you're collaborating with people and you're trying to get the word out about this case, then it shouldn't be just the focus on you. But that's what she wanted. And when it didn't work out in her favor, Now she's throwing everyone under the bus. And I'll never forget it. I can't remember who said this. Like, I think it was maybe last week or the week before when I first started covering KJ and her coverage on this case. When I first started commentating on it, they're like, wait until she doxes the family. And in my head, I'm like, no, she wouldn't do that. You know, this family is going through enough. You know, obviously they're going through heartache. They have so many things to worry about. She wouldn't do this. But in the back of my head, I'm like, yeah, she's probably going to do this shit. If they don't want anything to do with her, once I started seeing how things started playing out and things wasn't working into her favor, I knew she was going to do this. Okay. So I'm going to bring up something really quickly. Hold on. Let me share my screen. No, wait. I don't want to share my screen yet. Hold on. Get it together, Teaya. Hold on. I need to look at something real quick. How is everyone's Saturday going? I hope you guys are having an amazing Saturday. I'm going to play this really quick. This is going to give you an idea of, let's see here.
Reflective connection. It was super poor, so I'll just start over. I'm more reflective connection. It was super poor, so I'll just start over because I had to delete the other one. For some reason it said I had a bad connection and then it just like logged me out. So sorry about that again. Totally in my scrubs right now, wearing my like scrubby Led Zeppelin shirt, not trying to be impressive at all. So what I was saying was that I talked to Vaughn's stepmother, Wynette, today, and I was given a Cash App if you want to donate to Marvon Sr. and Wynette.
Okay, so this was, I'm pretty sure, I think last week, and this is when I guess she was in somewhat contact with Vaughn's stepmother, and this is, I'm pretty sure after this is when Vaughn's stepmother contacted her and said, please do not use my GoFundMe or anything like that. I do not want to align or associate myself with you. And that's when it hit the fan for Katie.
Senior and Wynette, they liquidated their entire savings when they found out about Vaughn in the coma, and they drove from Savannah, Georgia, all the way to Arizona. So they left and came home with like only a couple dollars to their names. And if people want to help them out, please feel free. The Cash App is actually $winners, WINNERS 1970. So that's if you feel moved to help them. If you don't. I never want to push it on anyone. I just want to use my platform in any way that I can to help in any way that I can. So that's up. She has no idea. I asked today if there was a status on Vaughn. Does anyone know where Vaughn is? No status update on that at this point. So I can't really tell you like where Vaughn is or what's happening with that. And there's this other weird thing that's been happening, and that has been that there's like these weird rumors that are like going around, and I don't know where they're coming from because I have honestly, for the most part, just been like, my head's down. I've been trying to help a bunch of different people. I've been investigating. I've been doing like pulling court records. I've been, finding information for people, finding videos, trying to source information. So I haven't been watching like any other people, but I keep getting these messages from people and they're like really aggressive in my inbox. And I don't know why people are so mad at me, because honestly, all I've been doing is just like sharing the story. at this point. So like today someone sent me a message and they're like, "You're so messy, you were talking about this person," and I'm like, I don't even know what that's about. Like I didn't even say that. And then somebody else sent me this message and they're like, "You need to stop talking about this story because their family blocked you and they're not going to talk to you anymore." And I'm like, what is this about? Like, why? I got like 5 messages in a row that I was blocked by this family, and I'm like, that's definitely not true. I literally just talked to them this afternoon. So I don't know where this is originating. Frankly, to me, it's just unnecessary. I think it's so easy in these situations to get like, have creators like fighting and like different pages and fighting, and none of that matters, because honestly, it just comes down to like helping the family, right? So if we're all like doing our part to get the story out, we all have different platforms. We all have different platforms and we all have different places to go. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna just keep doing what it is that I'm doing. I don't have like any interest in any of the back and forth with anyone. I just want to do my job. So like,
now see, this is how KJ was acting prior to obviously the family not wanting any contact with her. This is how she was acting. She was playing the victim. Like, what happened? What did I do? Blah, 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 blah. But then you always show yourself. You always show why people don't want anything to do with you. To do the things that you do, you always play the victim. Somehow or some way, you are always playing the victim. And it's like, this is how she was acting prior to them cutting all communication with them. I'm only going to play a little bit more of this, and then I'll obviously pull up with you what you guys have already seen before. But these are the things that I'm talking about. She has no compassion, no empathy. She has no feelings for anybody. She is so cold-hearted to do what she has done. This family is going through enough. They're going through enough. And for her to sit there and, hold on, let me slow down the chat real quick, you guys. For her to sit there and play the victim, and when something doesn't go her way, immediately she just throws this family under the bus after everything that they're going through. And in my opinion, after I read what I read, I'll tell you why I think she's doing what she's doing, which is interesting to me. But let me slow the chat real quick. And hold on, let me see who's in here. I'll play this while I slow the chat.
if you're sending me messages and they're super, super aggressive, I'm just probably going to delete them and not respond. Yeah, like, we don't need to be making up rumors. Like, truthfully, I think it's great that Molly has been able to get so many people on her channel, and she's been able to, like, get so many different interviews, and, like, she's been able to advocate and raise a ton of money for the family. Like, that is phenomenal. Like, that's amazing. I tip my hat off to her for, like, doing that, because, you know, I'm not a live streamer. Like, that's just not my thing. I'm more of, like, a making videos kind of thing. And all I want to do is just, like, tell the story. So, you know, if you like live streaming, watch her, you know, cool. So, at the end of the day, I just want to help who I help.
Karen, this live stream is not about Vaughn. This is about Without a Crystal Ball. And if you want to get into that information about what she said, then you're going to have to wait until I get to it.
With what else? Anyways, so right now, I'm just going to keep focusing on that. I have 3 new videos up on my channel, just normal content, on, you know, I did 2 videos on the daughters, and I did a Little People Big World video today. All I'm trying to do right now is like, I don't want to do a video on YouTube every single time something happens. I mean, anyone that wants to do that is fine. I'm not judging what anyone else does. I just run my channel differently. And so I'm kind of waiting on a few things. There's some things that are going on in the background, and I've just been waiting for those things to happen. And when I have that information, I'll share it with you and I'll do the video at that point. Right now, there hasn't been any changes with the kids. There hasn't been a change that I know of with Vaughn. So there just hasn't been enough for me to be like, okay, we need to, like, I'm so frustrated that the police haven't done anything. I'm frustrated with DCS. I'm feeling like how all of you guys are too. So all I want to do is like, please don't, like, let's just all stay out of the drama. I don't need messages of someone says this about me or someone says that about me. Like, it doesn't matter. Everyone, let's focus on Vaughn. Let's focus on the kids. Let's focus on the advocating for the family, for, you know, helping make sure that the story gets out further, spreading the story wider. This is a Marine that's on life support. You know, there's little kids that are still impacted by this right now. So let's just focus on that. So right now, what I want everyone to get along. That's all I want, is everyone to get along. That's me. I'm like, don't like this kind of stuff. I just want to do my job. So at the end of the day, the updates are, I don't know what's happening with Vaughn. I'm not sure what's happening with Vaughn at this moment, but hopefully Letitia can get some answers soon. And I just want to focus on, like, there's, you know, I was talking to someone last night about this. Story because there's so many layers to it. So, you know, you have the Vaughn situation. You have her using her Facebook to sell products that are not regulated by the FDA and pretending that she's a doctor. You have her giving these products to kids. You have her groups that she's telling people to give these products to kids. You've got the kids that are stuck in a really bad situation. You have a woman that has a husband that's on life support, and she's telling people publicly, my biggest priority is my husband, and the kids are like going through the biggest trauma of their lives, witnessed the trauma of their stepfather almost dying, and that those children have not had any counseling. Those
Okay, guys, I had to slow the chat. So the reason why I wanted to play this, which I'm going to knock this off now, is because I wanted to show you guys the way that she was acting prior to them not wanting anything to do with her. And they didn't want anything to do with her because, like I said, I think they seen the way that she moved. I think they seen, obviously, the way she treats people, the way that she keeps fabricating and lying about this case. And, you know, they don't want anything to do with her. And that's okay. That's their right. It's called boundaries. They're allowed to set those kind of boundaries for themselves. And that's obviously something that KJ doesn't like, because if they set boundaries, then it's not convenient for her, right? Okay, I gotta throw somebody else a wrench. Okay, so yes, I did, Sparkle. I did. Okay, so just don't take no crap from anybody. Goose will tell you. But anyway, I'm going to pull up what she did yesterday, and I'm very, very still upset about this, you guys, because I just cannot stand this woman. And at first, I'm like, you know what? I'm done with even worrying about without a crystal ball. I'm not even going to pay any attention to her because she just really, really makes me mad. Um, but then I was like, okay, look at what she's doing. Look at what she's doing to this family at such a vulnerable, crucial time in their life. You know what I mean? So let me bring this up. Oh, I just can't wait to read it because I didn't read the whole thing. I couldn't. Wow. Okay. Something else I got too that I want to show you guys. Okay. Let me share my screen real quick. Hold on. Okay, sorry, you guys. That's the thing about live streams. Shit happens. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. I got to figure out how to make this bigger, though. That's the thing. Because this is really, really tiny. This is huge. It's huge, but I need to make it bigger so I can read it. I mean, I can still read it, but I want you guys to be able to read it too, which a majority of you guys have already read this already, so. Just download it. Does she still have that up on her Facebook, you guys, or did she delete it? Does anybody know? I did try double left click. Okay, I'll try it. Does anybody know if she deleted that though? I still want to know if she deleted it. Now I'm about to share this. Okay, so I don't know if this is it. If she still has that up, I will bring that up too, but I want to read this real quick. Okay. I want to be clear. I did not ask Letitia for my money back. Letitia was not involved in the decision. I had to file a complaint with GoFundMe, a team of service experts, then had to investigate the complaint. I had to provide them evidence for why a refund was necessary. GoFundMe determined that I proved that I was defrauded. Letitia was no part of that decision. She found out after GoFundMe determined I had grounds for a refund. She has not reached out to me to ask me why, because she knows why. Instead, Letitia broadcasted the notification she received and told people that I asked her for a refund. We never spoke, further proving to me why I had grounds for this complaint. GoFundMe suggested filing a police report for fraud. I am not Team Dre. I am not Truth. I am Team Truth and Team Protect the Kids. I have requested a refund from GoFundMe for my donation to Von's mom. After leaving details from Von's stepmom about the situation, I realized that I was misled about everything. I am not asking anyone else to get their money back, but I did because the entire situation was misrepresented to me by Letitia. I did not withdraw my support because she stopped talking to me. I asked for the refund once I got all the details about the family situation and attempted S. I realized that I wasn't told the truth. That's what she's saying. Juanette, and I'm assuming that's the stepmom, told me that Letitia was never banned from the hospital. She also told me that they offered to drive Letitia to Arizona when they went in June, and Letitia refused. I was on the phone with Letitia when Dre texted her an offer to see Vaughn. I learned a lot from Juanette and Dre's ex-husband's friend about the situation. Like Letitia had no legal rights at all to Vaughn because he was adopted by his grandma. Despite weeks of promises to fight for justice, this whole situation has developed into a drunk YouTubers lobbing nonsense conspiracies about me every day. That's because oh my God. Despite weeks of promises to fight for justice, this whole situation I read that. I heard I was even accused of reporting other YouTubers to the police. I didn't. But one of them on a live stream threatened that I didn't leave this story, my life would be cut short. Don't worry, I have the clip. I want to see that clip. I'm team kids. I have committed my efforts and time to helping Dre's ex-husband obtain custody of his daughters. All GoFundMe money refunded has already been donated to his legal case. I am going to keep helping him with his fight to give his daughter stability and safety. He was shocked to learn about 25 calls to the police at Dre's home for domestic violence, disorderly conduct, SA, OD, and attempted S. That is not a safe place for a child to grow up in. So, if you are mad at me for pulling my support of Letitia, be mad. I cannot, in good conscience, support a cause that was wholly misrepresented to me. Wow. That does not mean I'm Team Dre. I'm Team get the kids safe, find a way for Dre to get help and be held accountable. I have no interest in interviewing Dre. I'm not flipping sides. I'm on no side other than the side of get the kids into safety. Okay. Before I read the next one, I just want to say that without a crystal ball, you are full of shit. This whole thing started. You are the one who turned this into a circus. You are the one who is deflecting from any type of justice that you think that you're trying to help the family with. The only reason why you're doing this is to save your ass. How the hell can you sit there and say that you didn't ask for a refund, but they gave you the money back? No, that doesn't make any sense. So basically you're saying that you called the GoFundMe and they told you that they were doing an investigation? That doesn't make any sense. That does not make any sense. You did request for your money back, and you probably also requested for an investigation. And the only reason why you're doing this is because of what the video that Sherelle's World did not too long ago, where Sherelle expressed that she had some kind of concerns for the GoFundMe or whatever. And then that's when you piggybacked off of that. That's what you did. You started all this mess. It didn't have to turn into this mess. You are dirty without a crystal ball. You are one of the most dirtiest people on YouTube. And I want to see the clip where a creator said publicly, for you to get off this case, or she literally physically threatened you. I'm sorry, but if any creator did that, They're fucking stupid. No creator's going to do that. You're lying. Like it's not rocket science here. All these excuses that you're making, you didn't call GoFundMe. So how did you get your money back? Hold on, you guys, so I can back out of here and I don't know if she still has it up there, but I cannot find it. So I'm just going to do this myself. Okay. Let me pull this computer screen closer to me. And these are not in order, so I have to make sure that I'm just so mad right now, you guys. Okay, these are in order. Thank God. Okay. Thank you to that person who sent it to me. I appreciate you. Okay, so I'm going to read this real quick, which a majority of you guys have probably already read this, but we are all shocked. We were all shocked when we saw Andrea McCrae request security when Vaughn's father showed up at the VA hospital. Everyone assumed she was being cruel to him, cruel to not allow a father to see his son, but Andrea had valid concerns for her safety. Marvon Jackson Sr. is currently in a court-ordered treatment in prison for a probation violation. In September 2021, Marvon Sr. was charged with aggravated felony stalking and possession for violating a DV restraining order his wife, Wynette, took out against him. Marvon was also on probation after 2 years in prison for felony aggravated battery and aggravated assault. According to the court records, Marvon Sr. slashed his wife's cousin's arm with a box cutter in 2017 over a dispute about his stepson. After slashing her cousin, he returned home and violently assaulted his wife. She had no injuries, but he was charged with both assaults. He was released from prison and was on 8 years probation. During that time, his wife took out a protective order in October 2020, stating he had a substance abuse problem, was violent, and The A word, he was prohibited from contacting her for 1 year. 1 month before the order expired, he was arrested for stalking when the police found him at her home. He also has felonies related to cruelty and theft. During my phone call with Letitia Bias, she said her ex-husband told her that he was hold on. Did that go? During my phone call with Letitia, she said her ex-husband told her he was going to Arizona to see Vaughn. She alleged that he told her that he didn't care if he went to prison. He was going to see his son, which is absolutely normal. I would say the same damn thing. There was no violence at the hospital, but Andrea had a right to be fearful given his history and their volatile relationship. On top of this, Letitia Bias was in Arizona at the time. She told me in Messenger that she is carrying a weapon. Wow. I didn't read all this, you guys, that she is carrying a weapon with her due to the crazy people in the world. She admitted to carrying her weapon everywhere she goes. Last week, after I spoke to Lynette Jackson, she reached out to me crying. Letitia was allegedly upset with her for speaking to me and drawing attention for her. Lynette said that Letitia threatened to harm her. Andrea has a mother-in-law admitting to being armed and a father-in-law with a violent history. Without a crystal ball, has not reported this information to protect a grieving family, but the family has also not been shy in their attacks on Andrea. There are also two sides to every story. Both sides in this case have troubling past with violence on the mind of some. And there's his picture, and I'm not going to show the rest of the pictures. That was just ridiculous. I never read the whole thing. First of all, you're sitting there saying that Andrea has a right to be concerned for her safety while she's in the hospital. First of all, what was he going to do to Andrea in the hospital, for one? And for him to say he doesn't care if he goes to prison, I would say the same damn thing. And how do you know, Katie Joy, that Andrea knows about his history? Do you have proof? Do you have proof that the family knows, that Andrea knows about Vaughn's dad's history? You don't. You're just making BS accusations. So because Letitia tells you, and I remember because you read this out, let's just read it again. Did she post that? She did post that. Letitia sent her a text saying, hey, be careful. Ever since this started, I have a weapon that I carry with me to take care of myself. And you use that against her? You use that against her. There's nothing wrong with carrying a weapon. If she has a license for it, she has a right to fucking carry it. Okay? That's her choice. She's not carrying that weapon illegally. She told you she has a license for it. The fact that you just called this family out, Katie, for no reason except for because things did not go your way and they don't want anything to do with you, and you couldn't just walk away like a good little girl, okay? Stay in your motherfucking lane, keep your mouth shut, and go head on about your business. No, you have to slander them. You have to. How many cases do you want to catch, Katie Joy? How many times do you have to be sued before you can grasp the concept of you cannot go around slandering people? Okay, this isn't slandering, but you still dox them. Okay? When you put out that one report, the address was on it. You claim to be a reporter. Any reporter would know to redact a report before you put it online. You still didn't do that. I don't care if it's public records. I don't care. You want to know why? Because you have an audience, okay, of 245,000 people. And that is so irresponsible on your part to do something like that. It is disgusting how evil you are. You are evil. So I'm going to bring up something else. Hold on. And this is why I don't care what she says. She can say until her face turns blue that she's not trying to go to Dre's side. I disagree. I think she's lying. Okay. Now, all of a sudden, it seems as though she's backtracking. It seems as though she's obviously trying to cover her tracks. And it seems as though she's speaking more in Dre's favor, when just a week ago, Dre was the worst person in the world. But now all of a sudden, I understand why Dre was so afraid. I understand this. I understand that. So let's see some of the comments that she has commented on. Okay, let's start with this one. Someone says, doesn't his mom have a record as well? Hold on, let me read this real quick. Doesn't his mom have a record as well? Because if so, it wouldn't be against the law for her to, exactly, for her to carry a concealed weapon. And she does, which she does. Oh my God. So I guess allegedly now, which I'm sure you guys have probably heard, she's trying to get the GoFundMe taken down. These poor people, man. These poor people. I feel so bad. I feel so bad that they really didn't get involved with her. I think they had their reservations about her from the very beginning, and now they're dealing with this. And I really do feel bad. I do feel bad. And I'm sorry that they're going through this, because this is the last thing that they should be going through. But this is the type of vengeance that KJ gets. This is what she does. She does these types of things because she's sorry, but she's butthurt. I'm just about to keep it real. That's why she's acting like this, because she is upset that the parents, they didn't really want to align themselves with her anymore. And now she's doing whatever she can to get back at them for this. And I feel really bad. One commenter said, what is the point? How is this helping the case? You are lost on your stance at this point. Without a Crystal Ball says, because fair reporting means you tell all sides. You don't blindly follow one side. You have to be unbiased. That does not, what in the hell is she talking about? Here's the thing. Yes, as a reporter, you do have to be unbiased. But here's the thing. What does that have to do with you doxing the father, putting out all of this information? They're not the ones who are in question here. The one who is in question is Andrea McCrae. She's in question. So if she's in question, what does that have to do with you doxing the father, doxing the mother, doxing the stepmother, telling all of their business, putting all their business out there, putting his past record out there, putting his mugshots out there? What does that have to do with anything? It doesn't have to do with anything, because they're not in question here. That's not why this case started. This case was started because a mother couldn't see her child. That's why it started. And then everybody started looking at Dre's erratic behavior and started bringing attention on it. And then more and more people started noticing her crazy behavior. Okay. Allegedly, in my opinion. So therefore, that's not being unbiased. That's just being downright shady and vengeful. That's what you're doing. Because if the family was working beside you, if they were working next to you, if they were at your beck and call, Katie, if they were doing what you wanted them to do and you were the first one putting out information, guess what? You wouldn't be putting up mugshots. You wouldn't be putting up past records. You wouldn't be doing all this shit if they were still working beside you, if they were still giving you the information that you needed, if you were the main one that was coming out with exclusives instead of somebody else. Like, that's just common sense. You're doing this to be vengeful. You're doing this to get back at them. You're doing this because, and I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen someone so cold-hearted that you would literally put this family in this position at such a vulnerable time in their life while their child, okay, is in the hospital fighting for his life. Here you are putting out mugshots, past mugshots. I'm sorry, but Vaughn's father, those mugshots have nothing to do with this. That's not why Andrea was afraid. She wasn't afraid. She just didn't want them to see him. If she was afraid, then she would have said to the thousands of people who were watching her at that time, she would have said, I'm afraid. You think she wouldn't have said that he had a record if she was so afraid? She told her followers everything. She would have told them that. No, she just didn't want them to see her husband. She felt as though she was doing what was best for Vaughn. It wasn't, she didn't call security because she was afraid. She called security because she didn't want them to see him. That's it. And for you to turn it into that, no, you just use that as an excuse to put out this man's record. And I understand that every reporter has to be biased, but let's be clear here, Katie. You're not a reporter. You're not a reporter. And being unbiased, you don't even know how to be unbiased. You don't. Then you want to sit there and say that it's about Dre and the kids, but that's not what it was about at first. And you just want it to be about what you can turn into a circus. That's what you want it to be about. What you can create the most drama out of it. That's what you want it to be about. This was your case. That's how you looked at it. This was, I don't want to say your claims of fame or whatever, but this was your case. You wanted to take off with this case. You wanted to be the first person that everybody talked to about this case, and it didn't work. And to be so vengeful, you're disgusting. You are disgusting. You're despicable. Every single time I try to say, man, maybe this girl, maybe let's give, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Sorry, you guys. Let me maintain my composure here for a minute. Thank you guys all for being here, though. I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome, and it means a lot to me that you guys care what I have to say about this, because I guess people know Katie enough. You know, I took a while away from Katie. I knew she was shady. I guess you guys, a majority of people know her well enough to know who she is and, you know, what she's about. But in the same sense, for me, it's more about I just give people the benefit of the doubt too much. That's what my problem is. Hey, Save Robbie. It's good to see you, boo. I'm just sick of her. Okay. So I'm going to pull up something else really quick. Oh, thank you. Is it Peony Poo? Thank you, Happy Healthy. I just know. Oh, I lost that. I just know she got picked on a lot growing up in school because she is foul. Did she get picked on a lot? Or, I'm sorry, but to me, when I look at her, I see a mean girl. That's what I see. I see somebody who is a mean girl all throughout her life. Any single time, thank you, Anastasia. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Goose. Any single time that I have ever, how do I explain this? I was picked on in school, okay? I was bullied. I was talked about a lot. People, it was bad. I had a bad time in high school. And when I look at Katie, she to me is very antisocial, and she just seems like a person that was just very, very mean to everybody. That's what she might not have been. Everyone has a reason for why they act the way that they act. I personally don't like when people constantly blame their past as to why they're an asshole today. Like, I don't like that. Like, if you are an asshole, you're an asshole. You know what I'm saying? Don't constantly blame your past. Like, I was bullied. I could be a bully right now, but that's not how it works. That's just an excuse. You know what I mean? Like, to me personally, I think with Katie, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I did give her the benefit of the doubt. I never thought that she was going to go this far with the parents and all that kind of stuff, because I figured that even though she's done this countless times, I just figured that she would continue on with the Duggars because she gets more views with the Duggars anyway, right? So, when she's talking about this case, I don't think she gets as many views as she does with the Duggars. This is, and it's funny to me how she's always talking about, this person's catching clout off my name, that person's catching clout off my name. And it's like, boo, shut the fuck up. Okay. You have thousands of videos about the Duggars, and I'm pretty sure I seen somebody write 200. Okay. You don't get to talk about anybody getting clout off anybody else's name, because you don't get views unless you talk about the Duggars. And guess what? Some people don't get views. They may not get as much views unless they're talking about you, because people don't like you that much. Because every single time you show what a fucking evil, conniving, manipulative little brat that you are. Oh, I didn't get my way. They didn't work with me. So let me go ahead and dig up their past and put it all out there for millions of people to see. But God forbid anybody do that to her. I was amazed when I go to her name. I was like, what the hell? And you want to know something? You would think that a person like her would become more popular because so many people talk about her. She has like a subreddit dedicated to her. Like, so many people talk about her. So you would think that she would have more subscribers, because unfortunately, you guys, hate makes you bigger. It does. It does. A lot of people look at negative attention better than actual good attention. You know what I'm saying? with all of these channels about her and things like that, and as much as she has been out there as far as lawsuits with one of the most biggest influencers here on YouTube, you just would think that she would be bigger. Sweetheart, you have accomplished nothing. Okay? Nothing. So many people have passed you up. People that you have put down, like Emily Baker, for one. That woman, I am so happy to see how far that woman has gotten, how successful she is. I've actually talked to her one time before, you guys. Well, she tweeted me back, and I think she tweets a lot of people back, but I love Emily Baker. I think she's amazing. And look, she literally passed you up without a crystal ball. So what does that tell you? It should tell you, maybe I need to start looking in the mirror and making some changes, right? Because Emily Baker started after her. She even called Emily Baker a bitch. That just shows you her integrity. As much as I want to call KJ that, I'm not going to, because you're going to see on this channel, we don't do that shit over here. I'm above that shit. I don't do that shit. But I will say, without a crystal ball, you're a spoiled little fucking brat. And you're a life ruiner. You ruin people's lives. And it's disgusting. You think I'm going to sit here and have any kind of empathy for you because you get so much hate? Because there's channels about you? No. I'm going to be the next channel that's going to call your ass out on everything that you do. Because you are despicable. You want to sit here and talk about you are unbiased and you're a reporter and you have to do what's right, blah, 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 blah. So tell me what reporter, okay, would dox a whole family just because that family wanted no association with you. Yeah, Emily is amazing. She's just amazing. I'm going to bring something else up really quick that I want to read to you guys. Okay. Here's another post that I wanted to read to you guys. Okay. This was 4 hours ago. Since I've been covering this situation, my haters are again falsely spreading that my son is not sick and telling people that I have Munchausen by proxy. My son's situation is not comparable to Andrea McRae or any of her children. My son's medical conditions are not a topic of discussion on my channel and irrelevant to my reporting. But let me tell you this, absolutely no one with any compassion or love would ever force their child to live on a feeding tube. No parent that loves their child would ever want them to have to deal with chronic illnesses. Anyone that harms a child or loved one in this way is evil. My son deals with far more than, is it hydrocephalus? Okay, deals with more than hydrocephalus, whatever, sweet pea. I have had CPS at my home over these allegations multiple times. They don't respond because it's not true. How about instead of being mad at me and coming for my kid, just keep your nasty to yourself. Just because you are mad at me doesn't give you the right to come for my son or accuse me of abuse. How about we offer acceptance and empathy to the millions of people that need feeding tubes to survive because their lives are hard enough without a-holes like you judging them. Also, my husband said he didn't even know he had STDs. That was new for him and me. What the hell is she talking about? Okay. Your son is not disabled as you claim. Yes, he has hydrocephalus. I'm probably saying that wrong. I probably butchered that. Very treatable. Keep him on a feeding tube because you'd rather stick liquid down him rather than have to take the time of the day to make a damn meal for him. You gave your husband 2 STDs before you have married him. Your so-called R never happened to you. Never happened. You were jealous because he used you. You are trash and everyone is sick of hearing from you. Okay, here's the thing, you guys. Wow. Okay. That was a very not nice comment. Here's the thing that I laughed about. When Katie Joy said, we all need to learn how to have love and compassion. Practice what you preach, Katie Joy. You want love and compassion when it comes to you, but you don't want to have any kind of empathy or compassion when it comes to anybody else. So everybody else is supposed to have empathy and compassion for you, but you can't have empathy, compassion in regarding anybody else, right? That's what I'm laughing about. How are you going to preach about empathy and compassion when you don't have any without a crystal ball, for one? And for two, I don't believe in talking about kids. I don't believe in ever talking about kids. I don't believe in CPS or any of those things. I don't think anybody should ever bring kids up, but everybody is their own person. But that's just not something that I would do. But to sit there and talk about empathy and compassion, you got a lot of nerve, boo. You do. Because you don't have any compassion. You have literally showed your ass to so many people that you lack empathy and compassion to a point where it's questionable. Like, even to me, it's questionable if you're a narcissist yourself, in my opinion. I can see the comparison with you and Dre. I'm not going to lie. But I would never go there and talk about your child. And to be honest with you, you didn't have to respond to that either. Why did you respond to that? You could have just ignored that comment. You didn't have to respond to that. You didn't have to shed light on that. And it's okay for you to walk around treating people like shit. But when it's done to you, oh, that was a private message? Whatever. She didn't have to put it publicly. You know what I'm saying? Like, why? Why do you have to put it publicly? Why don't you just answer them, continue to go back and forth with them privately? You know? Even the homeless and the inmate has more standard than KJ. I agree. Can you ever imagine what her home is like, the way she speaks? I have a video coming up, you guys, that I cannot wait to do for you guys. Not a video. I think I'm going to do it in a live, and it's going to be a reaction to something, especially since my channel is about makeup, and it's going to be kind of me getting back into makeup, and I cannot wait to do this for you guys. But yeah, I don't know, nor do I want to imagine what type of person she is at home. What I think my biggest question would be about her is, why aren't you bigger? Like, you hydrocephalus. Okay. Thank you, Alberta and Stella. Why aren't you bigger? Like, how come, so many people talk about you? There's hundreds of channels out there, awareness channels about you. You're sued by, a lot of very popular people, but yet here you are still at 244K. Like, to me, it should be a lot more. And if you're stuck at that place, maybe it's time to start reevaluating yourself and reevaluating just the way that you treat people. And the things that you do. So I'm going to bring up something else that I want to show you guys. And it's just a small clip to show how much this is when she first started talking about the case. And this was with Justice for All. And she literally was very, very much anti-Dre. And to me, it just seems like now she is gravitating more to having more empathy for Dre, in my personal opinion. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems to me that she's up to something. There is a reason why she's doing what she's doing. And I do want to read that Facebook post one more time about the GoFundMe, because basically she's saying that she didn't ask for her money back, but she asked for an investigation. What's the difference? If you ask for an investigation or ask for your money back, you're still making claims that you're suspicious about something. But the thing is, KJ didn't do this until Sherelle's World publicly stated that she was concerned about the GoFundMe. And Sherelle's World has that right to be concerned about that. However, do you see Sherelle's World going and asking GoFundMe for an investigation? No. She just said she had some concerns, and that's her right. It's anybody's right to have concerns, but to sit there and literally ask people or call GoFundMe and specifically ask for an investigation, what is that? What is... Okay. Hold on.
Like 4 days. 4 days after his incident.
Yes, I showed this video.
This is like 4 days. 4 days, after his incident.
Yes, I showed this video. She's just Glamour Girl right there.
4 days. No, this is 28. So 5 days later.
5 days.
He's on life support.
I know.
And she just had this traumatic event.
Yeah.
You know, like 5 days ago. Not even a whole week yet.
Like, the only reason why we even went this route was because my husband started having seizures. And I don't want that for him. Like, I want to see my husband happy and healthy and seizure free. And because he wasn't, like, I started going down the rabbit hole. What can I do to save my husband? Now, if you are in that predicament where there's something serious happening to your family, like, it is not too late to do something to get yourself right. If
a sales pitch?
Do you guys see how anti-Dre she was? Everything this woman couldn't do anything right. And this is when Molly, Justice for All, and her were collabing. They were getting along good. And obviously, when things started not going KJ's way, that's when she started pretty much talking about Molly, making her little sly comments and different things like that, and pretty much telling a lot of fabrications on the case, to where, you know, I think it was Justice for All or Molly was like, I can't confirm these things. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if the things that she was saying is truth. You know, her sitting there saying she has 10 days, that Andrea McCrae had 10 days to do something and report to the CPS. And it's like, how would she get any type of report from the CPS? That is completely classified information. There's no way that CPS would ever give you any type of information like that. She was just making all these claims and coming out publicly with them. And anyone would be a fool to stand back and align with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, people would have the right to question that, because most of the claims that she was making wasn't making any sense. And that's when she put up a post about Molly Golightly and she showed her mugshots. You know what I'm saying? And then she's showing the parents and the father's mugshots. Like, everything about Without a Crystal Ball is dirty. Everything about her. And I think what makes me so mad is that I did give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to lie. I did. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to read this one more time because I want to read it again for anybody else who hasn't heard it. And then I'm going to open the panel. So if anybody has anything to say, you are more than welcome to. If you don't, that's okay too. So let me remove this from the studio. So if you're shy, maybe get over your shyness, because I'm sure somebody has some things to say, because she's a horrible person. Let me share my screen. Okay. I'm going to read this one more time. Okay. There is recent claims that KJ asked for her donation back, if I'm not mistaken, which I don't see any comments there. She may have disabled the comments or something, but I'm pretty sure she donated like $500, she said, or something like that, maybe a little bit more. And she is asking for her money back. So this is pretty much her giving her excuse as to she's saying she didn't ask for her money back, which is a fucking lie. Okay? So I want to be clear. I did not ask Letitia for my money back. Letitia was not involved in the decision. I had to file a complaint with GoFundMe. A team of service experts then had to investigate the complaint. I had to provide them with evidence for why a refund was necessary. GoFundMe determined that I proved that I was defrauded. Letitia was not part of that decision. Okay. So you're telling me that you didn't ask for your money back. Okay? You did not ask for your money back. But you filed a complaint with GoFundMe, a team of experts, and they investigated the complaint, and they found that your complaint was proven that you were defrauded. So tell me this without a crystal ball, because you're so good with words and you're so highly intelligent. Okay? You're just impeccable. So what is the difference between asking for your money back, okay, versus filing a complaint to get your money back? Isn't that all the same thing? That's just you switching around your words, trying to play everyone like they're stupid. Okay? That's you manipulating your words to make people think that somehow you're not responsible for asking for your money back, but you filed a complaint to get your money back. And they determined that you were frauded or whatever by Letitia. But she had no part of that decision. Okay? She had no part of that decision. You literally are basically saying that you didn't ask Letitia for your money back. You went to GoFundMe and asked for your money back. And the reason why I'm laughing about this is because you think that everyone is stupid but you. You do. You really do. Okay. She found out after GoFundMe determined I had grounds for a refund. She has not reached out to me to ask why because she knows why. Instead, Letitia broadcasted the notification she received and told people that I asked her for a refund. We never spoke, further proving to me why I had grounds for this complaint. GoFundMe suggested filing a police report for fraud. Are you freaking serious? I forgot that part. Okay, so first of all, Letitia's allowed to show a receipt of whatever the fuck she wants to show a receipt of. But all this is you basically telling your audience and telling other people who know you for the dirty person that you are. So you are basically telling people that you didn't actually call Letitia and ask for your money back. You filed a complaint with GoFundMe to get your money back. Okay? That's all you did. And you're saying that Letitia did not call you or whatever. You guys never spoke. And Letitia knows why you never spoke. So you're sitting here broadcasting everything without a crystal ball. You're broadcasting all of, Von's father's personal business, all of these types of things. But yet, why wouldn't you put in here if you've been defrauding people? Not defrauding people, but you keep putting people on blast and putting their public records out there and everything like that. So if Letitia was guilty of something, wouldn't you say it? Right? You would probably say it. But then you had to say that GoFundMe suggested that you file a police report. So basically you're saying that you were frauded, right? As if anybody's ever going to believe you anyway. Okay. I am not Team Dre. I am Team Truth and Team Protect the Kids. It's none of your business what's happening with the kids, in my personal opinion. Yes, I feel like the kids need to be in a safer place, but I'm in a better place at this moment because obviously there's a lot going on mentally and those kids need to be in counseling, all those type of things. Allegedly, that's my opinion. However, what does that have to do with you? It doesn't really have anything to do with you. You put out the GoFundMe for, I guess this is Dre's ex-husband's good friend that you're talking to. You put up that GoFundMe. Personally, I question that GoFundMe because it's not the father that you're talking to directly. It's his friend, allegedly. We don't know who the fuck you're talking to, okay? So therefore, people are donating to that GoFundMe, fine. That has nothing to do with you. If he's getting the money to get an attorney, he has a job, let him take care of it. This has nothing to do with you, but you're inserting yourself in it because you want a story. You need content besides the Duggars. Period. Where was I at? I think I'm up too far. Wait. Okay. I have requested a refund from GoFundMe for my donation to Von's mom. After learning details from Von's stepmom about the situation, I realized that I was misled about everything. I am not asking anyone else to get their money back, but I did because the entire situation was misrepresented to me by Letitia. Okay, so if the entire situation was misrepresented to you, why aren't you stating how it was misrepresented to you? So basically you're saying that, let's just be real here, okay? Which I don't believe a damn word that you say, but let's be real here. You're saying that GoFundMe gave your money back, okay? So therefore, you were misled, but what about your followers who donated when you did? Were they misled too? And if so, if they were misled, is that okay for them to be misled? Or does it only matter that you were misled? Because you are the only person that matters, right? Sorry, you guys. She burned her bridges with the Duggars. That's why. kid should be off limits. KJ, don't whine when others bring up your kid when you're black. Exactly. Thank you. She's saying because Letitia had a chance to go out with the dad and not need money raised to get her out there. She's still not talking about the details. There has to be more details than that for her to sit there and insinuate that she was defrauded. Okay. So if she was defrauded, then basically what she's saying to her audience who also donated is that she can donate money, right? She was defrauded, but what about your audience who also donated money? Are they defrauded too? Does it matter that they were defrauded? See, that's the point of me even bringing all of this up and pointing out the hypocrisy that is without a crystal ball is that she did this to be vengeful. She didn't do this for any other reason, because at the end of the day, if she was defrauded, then that means her audience was defrauded, okay? Because her audience also donated to Letitia. And I'm just being real. I don't believe that she was defrauded. I believe that she's being vengeful and she's lying because things didn't go her way. But you have to be able to read in between the lines with this person without a crystal ball. And she's basically saying she was defrauded. So if you were defrauded, so was everybody else. Right? And she's not saying that. She's not saying anything. And the reason why she's not, without a crystal ball, is the type of person who likes to incite chaos, in my opinion. She likes to incite hate. However she's feeling, that's how she wants her subscribers to feel, right? So if this woman, Letitia, was misleading in any way, I think she would say, this is how she misled me. This is how she misled all the rest of you guys. And guess what? I'm getting my money back, and I suggest you guys do too. That's something that she would normally say. But KJ wasn't misled. She wasn't defrauded. She's only saying that to be vengeful. That's it. She only asked for some type of investigation with GoFundMe to obviously make herself better, to feed her ego, and also to hurt Letitia. That's the only reason why she did this. Maybe she had reasons Letitia couldn't go when they offered. Exactly. How does she know? She doesn't know anything. She did this to hurt Letitia, and that's it. Because if there was any information that KJ could give to incite people to do the same thing that she did, she would have. It would make one hell of a story. Exactly. Now I'm going to continue reading this. Is my screen still shared here? Okay. Yeah. I am not asking anyone. I'm not asking anyone else to get their money back, but I did because the entire situation was misrepresented to me by Letitia. So it was misrepresented to you, but it wasn't misrepresented to anybody else. Gotcha. I did not withdraw my support because she stopped talking to me. I asked for the refund once I got all the details about the family situation and the attempted S. I realized what I was told was not the truth. So if you were told lies, KJ, then why aren't you making content out of that? I'm sorry. I'm just saying that this is the type of person who makes content out of everything, and I think she's lying about everything that she's saying here. And she always has to give an excuse for every damn thing that she does, and it doesn't do anything but create more chaos and makes the whole situation worse. Juanette told me that Letitia was never banned from the hospital. She also told me they offered to drive Letitia to Arizona when they went in June, and Letitia refused. And just like, who said that? I can't remember who said that, but shout out to you. Just like one of my amazing subs just said, how do you know that Letitia could have won at that time? How do you know that she wasn't busy at work? How do you don't know anything? Okay, something could have happened at that time. Maybe she didn't have enough money to contribute at that time. You don't know shit. Okay. I was on the phone with Letitia when Dre texted her and offered to see Vaughn. Really? Are you going to show that without a crystal ball? Probably not, because you're lying, in my opinion. Just my opinion. I learned a lot from Wynette and Dre's ex-husband's friend about the situation. Like, Letitia had no legal rights at all to Vaughn because he was adopted by his grandma. What does that have to do with anything? I learned a lot from Wynette and Dre's ex-husband's friend. How? Oh, my Lord. Okay. Here's another thing that, in my opinion, is a good reporter. KJ, they don't go by hearsay. Just saying. Despite weeks of promises to fight for justice, this whole situation has devolved into drunk YouTubers lobbing nonsense conspiracies about me every day. Well, here's the thing. Without a crystal ball, nobody cares about you. Okay. You think people care about you, but they don't. The only reason why people have been calling you out on this, or people have, first of all, I don't even see people talking about you every day or even acknowledging you for that manner, but there are people calling you out for your hypocrisies when it comes to this case, your double standards, all of those things. To me, you seriously do remind me of the woman whose case that you're deciding to talk about. Okay. You remind me of Dre McCray. She has called the police 25 times. 25 times. You have had how many lawsuits? You're always jumping on and playing victim. Like, you act just like her some way or somehow. Everything is always made into you. Everything is about you. Nobody's making anything into conspiracies. People are using your own words against you. That's what they're doing. The words that you write, what you say in your videos, they're just taking your words and using everything against you with your bullshit lies and hypocrisies. I heard I was even accused of reporting other YouTubers to the police. I didn't, but one of them on a live stream threatened that if I didn't leave the story alone, my life would be cut short. Don't worry, I have the clip. Okay, so are you ever going to show that clip or no? What does that have to do with anything, for one? And how is it that you all of a sudden seen that? What YouTuber would actually say, like I said, on, what was it, a live stream or a video? Okay, what YouTuber would actually say on the live stream, I'm sorry, whoever that is, if you threatened KJ, you're stupid. And no YouTuber, in my opinion, would ever do anything like that. Ever. I just couldn't see a YouTuber threatening somebody like that on a live stream. You're not that important without a crystal ball. You're just not. Sorry, I'm reading this and I can't see the comments, so no one, because there's not one. Exactly, she's lying. Of course, just to further play the victim. I feel nobody will ever work with KJ even after this. This kind of situation is not meant for KJ. KJ is self-centered. Vaughn is still her son. Rights or not rights, that's his mom. Thank you, Erica. And I 100% agree with you on that. Hold on, I went up too far. I'm team kids. I have committed my efforts and time to helping Dre's ex-husband obtain custody of his daughters. All GoFundMe money refunded has already been donated to his legal case. Okay, so if you helped him out with his legal case, that would be where you would stop. Okay, getting involved with him trying to get, custody of his children have absolutely nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with this case whatsoever, in my opinion. I'm sorry, it doesn't. If you helped him obtain an attorney and you put out a GoFundMe and now he is getting an attorney, that's the attorney's job. You have nothing to do with that anymore. But this is you using that as an excuse to turn it into content. And I'm sorry, in my personal opinion, children are off limits and children are not content. They're not, but you want it to be content. Just like you talked about Sophie Long. I remember when you even called her a brat, okay? Blatantly called her a brat. And it's serious. These types of things are serious. I personally feel, even with the Sophie Long case, I was very much against how people got so personally involved with that case because it wasn't their place anymore. And I still to this day give my full props to that little girl's mother who was slandered, who was talked about so harshly, so badly, and she kept it calm, content, and she let her attorneys do their work. And that's exactly what you are supposed to be doing without a crystal ball. If you helped him seek an attorney, then your work there is done. You have nothing else more to do with that situation. Helping him, that's good enough. Now let the attorneys do their work, but you're not going to do that. You are going to dig up and try to turn whatever you can into content. And guess what? The same thing that happened with Letitia and Juanette and Marvon Sr., the same thing that you just did to them, you're going to end up doing to Dre's ex-husband and those little girls' fathers. Okay? Because at the end of the day, you have to be careful when you're bringing the kids into this because these are young girls right now. And obviously, this precious little boy. And it's very important to be careful with the things that you say as far as when it comes to legal things and stuff like that. Because, you know, I'm sure they have technology and things like that. It's just, a kid's off limits to me. They're not content. And in my personal opinion, that's exactly what she's going to do. She's going to turn the whole entire situation into content. And the same thing that happened to Vaughn's family and what you've done to them, how you victimized them and pulled up all of their history and their past. Everyone has a past, including yourself, Katie Joy. But you use that against them. You ask for your money back in order to hurt them, which shows that you didn't have good intentions of giving Letitia the money in the first place. When you gave Letitia that money, you expected something in return. If you didn't expect something in return, then you would never have asked for that money back. If you cared about the cause of this and you cared about Letitia actually being able to see her child, you would never have asked for that money back. You gave her that money with a motive. And that just shows how evil you are. You gave her that money with a motive. A real person, okay? A real genuine person that genuinely cared about this case and why this case initially started was for Letitia to see her son. You would have moved on and not even been thinking about that money. Because you would have looked at it like, hey, guess what? I gave her money. I'm happy I gave her money. I'm happy that I was able to help. But no, instead, you're saying that you were defrauded and you're asking for your money back. You did that to hurt her. And you gave her that money because you expected something in return. And when you didn't get it, you pulled this shit. She is messing with underage children. She can get herself into deep. Exactly. Those kids are not. Exactly. She is messing. Oh, I read that already. Absolutely, Teaya. I give from my heart and in God's name, period. Exactly. If I'm going to give to somebody, regardless, I give them the money and I move on regardless of anything. But no, she's going to use the excuse, I was misled and blah, 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 this, blah, blah, blah. No, that's not the case. The case is that you were mad, you were upset, and instead of doing what was right, you call GoFundMe and get your money back. Okay? You're disgusting. Okay? That's all I can say. Where was I? Oh, okay, I'm right here. I'm going to keep helping him. with his fight to give his daughter stability and safety. He was shocked to learn about 25 calls to the police at Dre's home for DV, disorderly conduct, SAOD, and attempted S. That is not safe. That is not a safe place for a child to grow up. Okay, well, he has an attorney, and his attorney can take care of that. His attorney can take care of that. What more can you do besides create content out of this? There's nothing more that you can do. So what's your point? You're going to continue to help him. Well, you helped him. You helped him seek legal action. So therefore, your job would be done. And for any genuine person, that's where their help would stop. But no, you want to act as though and pretend as though you're helping this man under the guise of the children, using the children as I want to help him. I want to help the children. You don't give a shit about anybody but yourself. And that's it. You didn't feel defrauded by Letitia or anything like that. You asked for your money back to hurt her. It's sad. So if you are mad at me for pulling my support of Letitia, be mad. I cannot in good conscience support a cause that was wholly misrepresented to me. So was it only misrepresented to you, KJ, or was it misrepresented to your audience as well? Was it only misrepresented to you? You're not making any sense. Because if it was misrepresented to you, then it's also misrepresented to your audience. But who cares about your audience? Who cares about your supporters who, pay you money and all that kind of stuff? Who cares about your bread and butter? It's all about you, and things were misrepresented to you. But see, if that was me, and that would never be me because I would never treat anybody like that. But if that was me, I'm going to be honest, I would be more concerned about my supporters than I would myself. Because if something is misrepresented to me and I promoted this person to my supporters, then I would feel bad for my supporters. And I would be like, I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah. I shouldn't have, introduced this woman to you, blah, 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 blah. I would care for my supporters. But see, that's not why you did this. You did this simply because you're a little fucking brat and nothing went your way. You wanted things to go your way with Letitia. You thought your donation was going to buy her and buy your way into her life for you to get the inside scoop. And it didn't work. So you took that money back. You didn't give that money in good faith and from the bottom of your heart. And that is what's sad. That is what ultimately shows what an evil person you are. And why there's so many channels about you out there. That's warranted. That does not mean I'm Team Dre. I'm Team get the kids safe and find a way for Dre to get help and be held accountable. And what are you going to do to help that situation? Nothing. Nothing. You are literally just going to create content out of it. And like I said, somebody better warn Dre's ex-husband and Dre's ex-husband's friend. You're messing with the wrong one when you're messing with this person. If you don't want your business put out there and you don't want people to, if you don't want your business out there and you don't want people to, thousands of people to know your business, please, 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 please tell him to stay away from her. I don't speak to him, obviously, but somebody needs to warn him. Because it's going to happen to him too. And I am 100% certain of it. This post got 681 likes. I have no interest in interviewing Dre. I'm not flipping sides. I'm on no side other than the side of get the kids into safety. That's not your problem. You having a GoFundMe for the father and helping him get an attorney was good enough. You should just learn to stay out of it. Wow. That's just messed up. Messed up. Yep, I wanted to go over that with you guys because it just gets worse and worse with her, doesn't it? Hold on, I want to look for something real quick that I want to show you guys, and then hold on, I'll put the link down here. And I will leave the panel open for like 15-20 minutes, and then if nobody comes up, then I will end the live stream. Okay. Okay, hold on. I need to find something. Okay. Hey, Goose.
Hey, I think I might need to mute the other one, but maybe it's a bit. Oh, hold on one second.
Mute what?
Okay, sorry. I just had to. At first, it sounded like it wasn't echoing, and then all of a sudden, it started echoing. So,
No, it's not echoing.
I was gonna say, did you notice how many times that she edited that one post about the so like, I think it was the one on the father. She edited at least 7 times when I had looked at it, and then the one that.
Can I see that?
Yeah, so go back to the post, and then right at the top where it says her name, and then like there's like usually about like 3 little dots or so, something depending on what device you're on, but kind of like over to the right of it, there's usually like 3 little dots.
Okay, hold on. Let me share my screen. Okay.
See the 3 little dots to the right on the top?
Yeah.
Click on that and then click edit, view edit history.
Oh.
Now just scroll.
Holy crap.
Click right there. See all edits. Now scroll.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't notice. I forgot that you could check that stuff because at one point I was like, when you started reading it, I'm like, that's not exactly what it said at first. There was things in there, but I just so she makes me so irritated. I actually actually wrote some things down because I didn't want to forget. Like for instance, you were just saying how she was saying how shocked the father was to learn that there was 25 911 calls, and that's his own kids. Also, we never heard Dre talk. We always heard Dre try to talk about the mother. And then like sometimes like at the hospital, then she would bring up the father. But again, she never brought up like, this is why I don't want him there. And I think, it just goes to show like with the father of the children, he didn't know about all this. It's very likely that Dre didn't know about all this. I mean, I don't think that either Dre or Marvon's grandmother is going to be calling and saying, hey, guess what about this, that, or the other. Also, we have to remember, like, these are exes. And granted, a lot of time you should come together no matter what happens in an event like this. But I mean, when Marvon Sr. left, we don't know. I mean, she's saying that Wynette told her that they offered to take her, whatever. But we don't know if that's true. We don't know. It bothers me because not only is KJ just being a nasty bee right now, but she's also, it's like she always, I mean, you know this because we've watched her for years, but she always tries to pit people against other people. She, and I mean, she's trying to do it now with the parents, like Wynette, trying to pin Wynette against Letitia and, I mean, and the other thing that bothers me, I said to you last night, is you don't bring, I mean, how embarrassing is it not only for, obviously like Marvon Sr. to have this out there, but how embarrassing is it for Wynette to have all that out there when she stayed with this man? Like
Right.
that's not something that you want people to know about you. Not only, but if KJ was actually smart and not just all about clout, clicks, and views, she would have realized, oh, wait, if I actually was a like survivor of assault, like she says she was, she would realize that you don't go and piss off somebody who has a history of, assaulting somebody. You don't do that. You don't try to make somebody mad.
No.
It just
Let me read this real quick.
Yeah,
this
go ahead.
was like 20 minutes ago. It says, I've had D threats, if you can imagine. She put, so update. Today has been insane with the number of death threats to myself and my family. Threats to my son aren't acceptable. No story is worth this kind of harassment and threats and bullying. I will not be covering this situation as long as other creators are inciting mobs of angry people to go to homes or drive by places. What? I will not cover this story as long as other creators say that I will end up dying young for not minding my business. What?
Okay, I'll tell you exactly what happened. Marissa made a comment about how people die young when they act like shitty people. She wasn't saying that KJ was going to die. She was simply saying that if you stress takes a toll on your life. If people live crazy lives or they're, you know what I'm saying? Like, she wasn't literally saying.
When did she say that?
It was maybe yesterday or maybe honestly, maybe somebody in the chat knows which video it was, because I can't remember if she was by herself or I think maybe it was one of the ones where she was by herself, maybe walking around her house or something, but she literally did not say like, she didn't like give her a death threat or anything like that. She was just saying like, it was almost like, I think, and maybe people in the chat would help explain it a little bit better than me, but she was just talking about how, kind of in a way like karma, you know what I mean? Like karma always tends to come around, or if you're going to be a shitty person, like sometimes, people don't live long when they live shitty lives. And
so where is she getting that from? Like, that doesn't make any sense. She's making that up. She's lying.
Right. You know how she does it.
She's not going to stop covering this case, for one. That's not going to happen. I'm sorry. I don't believe her. The only way I would say that she would stop covering this case is if somebody has something on her that they might come publicly with. I don't know, but I just cannot see her just not talking about this case. I just can't see it.
Sorry, I'm sitting outside. But
people who don't mind their own business live short lives. Well, I've never heard of that saying, but I don't think anybody's threatening her. But the way that she's talking, I'm pretty sure the only person she could be referring to is probably Molly.
Oh, yeah. Here, I'm going to mute again.
Okay. Yes, first MGL one this morning by herself. Yes, it was just a saying about karma. Random comments about repercussions of erratic behavior, and KJ blew it up to pretend she was terrified for her life. Exactly. In my personal opinion, I don't believe that she's getting as much hate as she is saying. I'm sure that there are people who are saying, get off this case, you're a horrible person, look at all the horrible things that you have done. But I don't think that she is getting any type of threats to the magnitude that she's saying. She's only saying this to, once again, play the victim, because she has messed everything up for herself when it comes to this case. She has lost all credibility. Nobody's ever going to believe anything that she says. She is trying to insert herself in the case by talking to the ex-husband's friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, she has no credibility. And to me, like, there really isn't any reason for her to continue to cover this case, in my opinion. And she's grasping onto strings, in my opinion. She's just grasping as much as she can. But the point is, I really do feel like people are probably telling her, like, look at the stuff that you're doing. Look at look at what you just did. You literally just basically accused Letitia publicly of defrauding people,
And then
thousands and thousands of people.
she also accused the one of being worried the other. That's what did she accuse Wynette of, like, or Letitia being? She accused one of the wives of being worried that the other wife was gonna K them. It's like,
Yeah,
seriously?
I didn't see that one.
Yeah,
I didn't see that.
It was one of the posts. I think she ended up maybe taking it down at one point or whatever, or she was talking about it or something. It was when, okay, so when Letitia talked about carrying the gun, I think you and I talked about this last night, but she was literally like, she was reaching out to KJ, literally saying like, you know, oh, I'm so sorry about everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've been carrying a gun too, just because of everything that's going on. But she wasn't saying, like, KJ flipped it like Letitia's carrying a gun because of like her ex's past, or you know, like that's how she was trying to insinuate it to people, and it was just so gross.
Right. She's not only trying to incite hate, but she's trying to get the family to get into it with each other as well. She ruined it for herself when it comes to this case.
Absolutely. Somebody actually said it really well in the comments. They said it's almost like she's trying to make Molly her new Nat.
Really? You know what? I'm going to revisit that when I do the part 2 without a crystal ball, because, you know, about her downfall, because I really need to get deeper into that story about Nat, because that's when I stopped watching her, unfortunately. So, you know, I don't know anything. I don't know a lot about it.
Nat actually ended up, from what I heard, she did get caught for doing some of the stuff. But if anybody's followed her and followed the different cases that she's done, she always accuses people, or she always says this happens. Like every single case she covers, she literally mirrors whatever's happening with the case with something either she's gone through or is currently happening to her now, because she's covering the case. And the thing is if KJ actually looked in the mirror, she'd realize that the only reason that there's ever issues with cases or shows that she covers is because of how she does it. Exactly. People that come at her or whatever, I would say 99% of the time, those people are responding to what she's done to them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the people that call her out, like Renelle, I like Renelle Smith's channel. Her channel is amazing. They are just trying to bring awareness about her. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, given the fact of, look at how many videos she has about the Duggars. You don't have any right to talk about anybody and how many videos they make on a person. Look at how many videos you make on one family. Over 700 videos. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I think a lot of people who initially start calling her out, which is why I did add commentary to my channel because of her, is because she makes you so mad. How can you not see what you're doing? You do all of this to yourself. You give people a reason to talk. And it's like, I try to say to myself, is she doing this on purpose? Does she do this on purpose so people will continue to talk about her? I don't know.
I feel like she does too, because also with the whole thing with the money thing, I mean, people know that from KJ's past that she rarely donates. I think she's maybe donated 3 times, like with cases. And that, so it didn't surprise me when she found out that the father allegedly was going to need money now, that she decided to try to find a way to get her money back from Letitia.
Right.
It's gross. And I really think I'm going to look into this, because I'm pretty sure I can find out, but I'm pretty sure that when somebody asks for a refund through GoFundMe, usually the person that is doing the GoFundMe will get a notification like so-and-so is asking for a refund or whatever. And you can either fight it or not. So I think when Letitia is saying, you know, she asked for her money back and I just clicked OK to have it returned, I think that's what happened. But then KJ's saying like, oh no, you know, I had it investigated, this, that, or the other. But I think what happens is you click like I've never asked for a refund. When I donate money, I donate money and just hope it goes to where the people say it's going to go towards, you know. If it doesn't, oh well, you know, that's the trust
Right.
I'm going to have in the person. And but I think that's how it worked. She probably got a notification saying, hey, this person's requesting a refund. Do you want to fight it, or do you want to just return it? And Letitia was probably just like, you know, click return.
And I'm about to turn it into this too. And also, this is something that I've also noticed with her asking Letitia for her money back like that. It's almost as if she looks at it like Letitia, in my opinion, if you look deeper into this, is as though, well, she was trying to buy Letitia. Otherwise, she wouldn't have asked for her money back. As if Letitia is this underprivileged woman who's supposed to be this underprivileged Black woman who is supposed to be so grateful that somebody like KJ, who never donates a large sum of money to her for her to be able to go see her son. And you acting like that was some kind of a privilege, and Letitia was supposed to bow down to you and align herself with you, and whatever you needed, she was supposed to jump and give you whatever it is that you wanted. Why did you think that? Because if you didn't think that, you would not ask for your money back, in my opinion.
Look at how much she projects. Like she constantly projects her behavior onto other people, and then, or she deflects from stuff. And so I feel like as soon as she found out that the husband was going to need money, and she was talking now with that source, and the other two sources pulled away from her, which is funny because you know how she's tried to say like, oh, the only reason they're sticking with Molly and Justin is because of, you know, they're paying them and they're promoting their cash apps and all that sort of stuff. KJ, you just told on yourself. Right. Because they didn't want to talk with you anymore. And so I feel like she was like, well, I don't want to put out any more money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my money back from Letitia, and I'll just take that money and give it right back to give it to the ex-husband. And that's exactly what she did.
Right. And it's disgusting. Bingo. I've been involved with GFM, and that is just what happens. It's very simple to request a refund. The whole expert investigators over the weekend, nonetheless, is a load of nonsense. Right. And hey, allegedly with bread, it's good to see you, girl. It's good to see you. I think she just donated to keep up with someone else. True. I think she donated with a motive involved, though. Because
absolutely,
if she didn't donate, if she donated from the kindness of her heart, she wouldn't be asking for that money back. Thank you for making this video, because I've never watched KJ before. I'm learning so much, and I appreciate you throwing some knowledge our way. She's absolutely positively a messy Betsy. I like that. That's cute. She's so jealous of Molly and Justin. So envy of them. She's very, very upset because, you know, that's who Letitia chose to, you know, trust and to, you know, talk about the case and everything like that. And for her, she trusted them to give them information. At the end of the day, you take it as, okay, they don't want to be involved, and you keep it moving. You don't ask for your money back, put them on blast, throw up pictures from their past and all that kind of stuff, doxing that. You don't do that type of stuff when people don't want to work with you. That's psycho. That's psycho.
Yeah, maybe she should have, instead of doing what she did, maybe for once KJ should just stop and look at herself in the mirror and go, oh, am I doing anything? But well, you know, see, she's not going to do that.
I think there's something wrong. Like, if you come to a point where you cannot see yourself every single time, like, to me, I'm not going to lie to you. I was trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. I didn't think that she would do this at all, Goose. Like, I thought,
oh yeah, this low?
She would just walk away, take it as a loss, you know, still talk about the case. I didn't think that she was going to do what she did yesterday, you know? And for her to do something like that, in my personal opinion, I think that when it happens every single time and you still don't see it, wouldn't that mean she doesn't think that she's doing anything wrong?
Right. That's what narcissists do, allegedly.
Right. Right. It truly just goes to show she was on this story for all the wrong reasons. Exactly. And don't say that you're not making money from this. Okay? Your Facebook is monetized, your YouTube is monetized. What else? And your Instagram is monetized. All of these things are monetized. So you are making money from this case. Okay? It's a contest. Yeah, she is very evil, allegedly, with Brittany. She's very, very evil. And she is never going to change. I tried, not going to work. She's just never going to change. It's a contest for KJ. She wants first, but always falls last. KJ blew it in the second day when people found out she made up sources and twisted Letitia's words. Exactly. Right. If she donated out of the kindness of her heart, she would have never requested it back. Exactly. KJ's doing her usual cycle drunk live, dox others, use her son, claims she's been threatened. Next on the list, it will be swatting and CPS. I hope not. Does she do that too? Oh my gosh, I hope not. She posted that she's not going to cover the story because yes, I just read that. Yes, see, it's messed up. Narcissistic is the word of the day. Exactly. Nobody is threatening her, but she can gladly show herself the door and leave this story done. Too much drama coming from her. I agree, and it is taking away from the issue at hand. You know what I mean? See, if you go to her page, she has changed her story again about oh my God. It's never ending with her. She changed it again? Let's see.
If you think about it, she's never covered a story like this where there's other people, she's always been known for her sources and like all that sort of stuff. But this is the first time where other people have actually had important sources, and she doesn't like that because it's all a competition for her.
Right. And also, isn't she usually the only one? She really doesn't collaborate with people that much. Usually,
exactly,
like with the Duggars, isn't it always just her talking? Who else talks about the Duggars?
Yep.
You know what I mean? So she's not used to somebody coming into a case when really she's the one who came into this case. I'm pretty sure Justice for All and Molly started covering this case first. And then she started covering this case or whatever. And I don't know who asked who to collab, but the point is that she is not used to, everything's a competition with her. And she's not used to competition. And that's why she literally wanted to eliminate Justice for All and Molly as her competition. And it didn't work. It backfired on her. So now I think she's like, vengeful. I'm sorry. I think she's being vengeful. I think she's so mad that I think this was going to be her case. And she probably goes into Molly Golightly's lives, Go Justice for All live streams. And then she sees she don't get along with LB, does she?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think LB likes her much. That's for sure.
Yeah, I know she did some really horrible things to LB. So it's like she sees LB's on this case. Of course, that's going to piss her off even more. And now she's just trying to ruin everything, for everybody. And I feel so bad for Letitia. I feel bad for all of them because at one point, I think they really did probably like KJ. And then they just didn't, they told her stuff. So I think they at one point did like her, and now they don't want to align themselves with her anymore. And look at what she's done.
Well, if you think about it too, usually with cases, she has people that are going at her in the comments, but she doesn't ever really have, like with this one, I think the reason why this is so different and it's really like making her go crazy is because this is one where people have actually been able to prove, because of other actual reliable sources like the parents, that some of the things that she has said don't add up and don't make sense. And so in the past, she would just say, oh, I have this verified source. And, you know, and then people would be like, oh, but nobody would really be able to like actually verify like what she said, or, you know, they just kind of have to take her word for it. And if they didn't believe
Right.
her or like her, they just go at her in the comments. There wouldn't be
Right.
somebody going, wait, no, I didn't say that. Here's actually how it happened. I hadn't talked to her for quite a while. And then when I saw the hate online, I told her I felt bad for her. And that's all that comment was about.
Wow. I'm just so happy that at the end of the day, why this case started is for Letitia to see her son. And I'm so happy that she was able to see him. And I feel like she, you know, obviously KJ, she's taking all the joy away from it. Like she just,
She needs to change your middle name.
To what?
Anything but Joy.
Exactly. I gotta think of something. Okay, so let me read this again. Whoops. How come? Okay. Today has been insane with the number of death threats to myself and my family. Threats to my son aren't acceptable. No story is worth this kind of harassment, threats, and bullying. I will not be covering this situation as long as other creators are inciting mobs of angry people to go to homes or drive by places. I will not cover this story as long as other creators say that I will end up being away, young, from not minding my business. She changed this. Let me see. I don't think she changed it. Wouldn't it say edit here? Which post did she? Somebody said it.
Click off of it for 1 second. And now click on the 3 little dots.
Oh, okay. No, I don't think she did, because it would say edit somewhere on here. And it sounds about right, unless that's not the one you guys are talking about. Somebody in the comments said she changed it again. So I don't think she changed it yet, unless she changed something else.
Oh my God. She just.
Who you all are trusting right now. Good night. See how mad she is, you guys? She's trying to discredit Molly. I'm just telling you guys, it is what it is. It just is what it is.
It's freaking wife swap. Come on, people. Jesus.
Right. It's wife swap. I'm just saying, for her doing all this stuff just shows how upset and angry she truly is. And this is another post that she did 6 hours ago, and it says, what if I told you the way I spend my money is none of your business? Well, nobody cares the way you spend your money. You're the one who said that you donated, Katie. You're the one who told everybody that you donated and how much you donated. You even proved that you donated. So therefore, nobody cares about your money. You're the one who said you donated, and now you're the one who's saying that you got your money back. Who cares? Nobody cares how you spend your money. You're the one who keeps talking about your own money. So be quiet. Buckle up. We are just getting started. Well, folks, things are about to get interesting. Don't lose hope. If you're still looking for justice for Vaughn and the kids, there are still active investigations going on at this time. I will keep you updated soon, but there is a lot more going on behind the scenes that wasn't released by the police. Stay tuned. That's a lie. Oh my God.
Well, and here's the thing. I mean, obviously the police aren't going to say like, oh, hey, guess what? We found this and we found this out and this came to our attention. I mean, that's a no-brainer. That doesn't mean, I mean, sorry, KJ, but great. I don't look at that sentence and go, you're so smart.
Right. Of course, there's a lot more things going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. And you don't know about them either. And you're never going to know about them. In my opinion, if you know about them, it's going to be when everybody else finds out. I mean, you're not talking to, and that's your problem. And you literally should be ashamed of yourself for asking for an investigation, because to me, with you saying that, not only did you say that to insinuate things about Letitia, but it's a dog whistle for her, in my opinion. It's a dog whistle for her and her like
Minion.
subscribers, supporters, for them to want to do the same thing too, in my opinion. Just like what she did a couple days ago when she went live and was talking about Molly Golightly, and she's like, "I'm so sorry I introduced you guys to her," and blah 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 blah. It's the same thing. It's the same story.
Yeah, she's a special kind of special.
She is. Hopefully KJ goes back to hard hitting news like a Duggar wearing pants. The police have been instructed contact KJ. They've been instructed. Yeah, you're gonna have to maybe write that again, because it says the police have been instructed. Probably the police have been instructed not to contact KJ.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, she did say that allegedly when she spoke to GoFundMe that they said that she should file a police report. Okay, bitch, you know what? I'm sorry, but if I think anybody who's been following this case knows that the funds were raised so that there would be money for the attorney. Okay, this is the other thing. KJ should know this since she's been in so many lawsuits and she's getting ready to go to trial in 2023 against 7M. You would think of all the people in the world that she would understand that just because you raise money for like the retainer doesn't mean the cost stops there. That's the other thing. So for her to be like, well, you know, this, that, and the other with the cost, or, you know, but aside from that, there's been talk about, you know, gas getting there, gas driving around, hotel accommodations, food. Like I said before, I said, you know what? I wouldn't care if I donated money and Letitia or Wynette or Marvon or whoever it might be, if one of them just decided, hey, you know what? Go get your nails done. Honestly, I don't care. I would feel like these people have so much stress in their life. If I can send them $100 and they can go and use it to go out to a nice dinner or go get a manicure and a pedicure, or, you know, I don't know exactly like, you know, what males would do in that same thing, but I don't know, go to a cigar bar or just whatever, go get a manicure and pedicure as well. Who, you know, just something, you know, or go buy a nice game that you like or whatever, you know, just whatever makes you happy. That wouldn't bother me either. It's like, she's just, it's just sad.
I know. And that's why I feel so bad for them, because this is the last thing that they need to be worried about. You know, they shouldn't have to be worried about people talking about their past and all that kind of stuff. And it's only KJ trying to discredit them. And it's like, you could even still be covering the case, right? Like, I wouldn't even care if you were covering the case, but just throwing them under the bus in that way, you ruined it for yourself. You blew it for yourself, and you don't have anybody else to blame but yourself. Is doxing illegal? Yes, I'm pretty sure doxing is illegal.
I think technically it's not necessarily illegal, but it's extremely frowned upon because it can bring upon like harassment outside of YouTube to somebody's doorstep. Like, you know, KJ constantly talks about like, the people have called CPS on me, they've called the police on me, they've had me swatted, this, that, and the other. But yet she does this shit and she thinks it's fine because she's, you know, giving information to the public because she wants to cover, you know, all the sides and get all the facts. Well, this case had nothing to do with Marvon Sr. or Letitia's past. It has to do with Vaughn. And now she wants to say it's about the kids, which, you know, we did always talk about the kids and being worried and everything because of the different substances that they were given and stuff like that. And I know that we don't talk about kids, you know, we try really hard not to talk about kids and stuff, but I'm just going to say this really quick. KJ has no room to talk. Okay. She spends over 16 hours a day online. It's clear from how many times she posts and edits and tweets and whatever else that she is spending the majority of her day online. And she herself has a medically fragile child. Okay. I don't care if you have nurses who help take care of him. You're his mom. Spend some time with him. Get off the freaking computer and put your phone down for a minute.
Yep. I agree with that. Now, I don't know what goes on in her household, but I do know that it's hard for me. You guys, like, I have a 21-year-old, he's does his own thing, but I have babies. I have an 11-year-old and I have a 6-year-old. And in the summertime, it's very sporadic. We're not very strict parents in the summer. The only time we get really strict is probably maybe a month before school starts. We start getting them ready. We start working with them a little bit more, but I don't believe in being too strict on your kids. And it's important that during the day, I could probably go live and have them running around doing whatever, but I can't do that. You know what I mean? Like, even if I'm back here editing or working on something or whatever it is that I'm doing, I'm still tending to my kids. I'm still cooking dinner for my kids. So with my schedule right now in the summertime, it's just better for me to be live later at night. And, sometimes that doesn't work for other people. And it's unfortunate because I would like to go live all the time, but I can't do that. And I wouldn't want to anyway. I don't want to miss those moments with my kids. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I want to be there, and you're not really there if you're live, So during the day, they are playing. We're playing with them. We may go to the park. Today we went to Target because that's my 6-year-old's favorite place to be, was Target. That's like every time we go to Target, he says, we're home. He just loves Target. I don't know why, but that's just what he loves to do. And there's just no way that I would pick being on the internet versus being with my children, But at night, they are, even if they are still up, I'm online, but they're tended to. They're fine. They were with me all day. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. You spend the other majority, you're a stay-at-home mom. So it's like you spend all that other time with her. Your job is taking care of your children. And so if you want to take a few hours to yourself, I mean, that's not something crazy. It's a lot different than somebody who's spending a million hours a day on, and actually somebody in the chat just made a comment about how on that one live, that's where I came up with the 16 hours, was because there's proof of it. It showed on her phone because she was keeping track of like how much she was on her phone. And it was like, and that's just her phone, 16 hours a day. We know she uses her computer when she goes live and stuff. I mean, that's insane.
Yeah, it is. That's a long time to be on the internet, like a long time.
16 hours on your phone?
Yeah, and she never misses a beat. So she has to be on here constantly. She has to be. It just... But here's doxing that I wanted to show you guys really quickly because it is interesting. It says many people may not be familiar with the word doxing. However, they are familiar with cyberstalking. Cyberstalking may involve doxing. Doxing is using the internet to gather your personal, identifiable information. Examples of sensitive information include, but is not limited to, full name, social security number, contact information, including street address, telephone numbers, email addresses, etc., work details, financial information, family members. The party publishes the information online for malicious purposes. Companies and government entities could be victims of doxing when individuals or groups steal and publish their sensitive information. Many internet sources contain sensitive and personal information. For example, a party may search social media sites for posts, comments, and tags. In addition, they may friend a person to get information. The other sources of personal information include, but are not limited to, voter registration, rolls, court and property records, public conferences, obituaries, wedding and engagement announcements, newsletters, unprotected networks, blogs and discussion boards, web forums. Your personal information may appear on numerous sites you might not even consider. Any website you use could be a resource for doxers. people who publish personal information online. Doxers may publish information online for profit, or they may seek revenge against the person they are stalking. What is considered malicious is trolling, cyber stalking, cyber bullying, criminal threats, cyber harassment, revenge porn. And California's laws against doxing is cyber stalking is a direct form of cyber harassment, is a direct action against a person. Doxing is an indirect form of harassment. California prosecutes doxing under its electronic cyber harassment statute. So I think in some states it is considered illegal, but it's called cyber harassment.
Yes,
That's
and
how
I
I'm gonna
think
look at it.
if I recall correctly too, California has like pretty strict ones compared to some of the other places just because of the fact that a lot of movie stars are there. So they tend to be a little bit tighter. It's the same thing with them being like California is a two-party consent state. Well, it says like two-party, but then it explains like basically anybody who's in a call or together, they all have to have they have to all know that they're being recorded. It's not like some places where it's a one-party consent state. So the person actually making the phone call or doing the recording, if they're present, they don't have to tell anybody. And that's, kind of scary.
I think what is important when it comes to doxing, what's important to know is I feel like the law hasn't really caught up with technology yet, but they need to. There does need to be stricter rules when it comes to cyberbullying, doxing, because too many people do it. I've never seen more people dox before until I came to YouTube. So with YouTube, you see it more often than not, and people just don't care. It's not hard to get people's personal information, and I feel like the bigger you get, it's inevitable. But here's how I look at it. What KJ did last night or the night before when she put up a police report with the address on it. Okay, even though it is public records, I understand that. But you still need to be careful, because just because it's police records doesn't mean that it shouldn't be redacted, because you have a whole different audience. Everybody has different audiences. And when you have a whole different audience and that address is up there, you don't know what kind of crazy you have in your audience who may have something really, really, has something very malicious towards Dre. And you just don't know. You still have to be careful, regardless of whether they can look it up. You're just making it easy for them not to look it up because it's right there. You're putting it out there for them. So I just feel like you just have to be careful with that. I don't care what the situation is. I don't care if it's public records. You still have to be careful with your audience, because you just don't know who's watching. You don't know what type of person is watching you. So I still think people need to be careful with that, regardless. Every time KJ, without a crystal ball, pulls forms online, she accepts their team agreements, which states you cannot use the information for malicious purposes. Yes, that's very, very true. Y'all, Nana's not drunk. I like your name. That's true. Like when she put Vaughn's father's information out there, that was malicious. What was her reasoning for putting that out there? Hey, Chit Chat, how are you?
She tries to claim that it had something to do with this case, but at the end of the day, it didn't. Because again, we know that we know Dre enough because she puts so much stuff out there when she records it, and she was constantly talking about Letitia this, Letitia that, Letitia this, Letitia that, and that's why Vaughn, didn't want to, see her or have anything to do with her. We all know that. She filled his head with a bunch of crap to make sure that he stayed away. Because as soon as he got back in contact with her, he lit up like a Christmas tree. I mean, he was so excited, and so. Right. She's trying to say now that, oh, well, she had, legit reasons to be concerned at the hospital. But we know Dre well enough, I think, that if that was what her concern was, she would have said it. She has literally said everything else,
Yeah, she tells her audience everything. Do you really think that if that was her genuine concern, that she wouldn't have said to her audience, he has a record, I'm scared of him? That's not what she said. She said, they're not supposed to be here, and they know they're not supposed to be here. It was because she just simply was being hateful and didn't want the parents to see their child. It had nothing to do with his criminal background or anything like that. She used that as an excuse, and that was malicious intent for her to put those things out there, to put his criminal record out there. And she does this all the time. And now now you're saying that you're being harassed and you're being bullied, and people are telling other people to go past your house. Who ever said for anybody to go past your house?
I think she was talking about people saying for people to drive by, like Vaughn and Dre's house. But if I recall correctly, nobody actually gave out their actual address. I think at one point somebody did like put out a street, and just because they were trying to see if maybe anybody was home or if they were at the hospital or not, because people were curious to see if if Dre was able to see Vaughn, or if they were there locally, because people were genuinely concerned, like, is he even here in the United States, or has he been moved to Mexico? So I think there was discussions about, like, just drive down this road and see if you see a trailer. If you don't see a trailer, then we just know, that they're not there. It wasn't like, here's the address, go there, whatever. At least not like on a live or anything. And I'm sorry, but anybody who knows KJ knows that she might not do stuff herself, but she has people that have done, not so nice things for her. And people have even come out and said stuff like that, old mods of hers and stuff like that, or people that she's talked to. And I just wanted to say one last thing about doxing. One thing that some people might not understand is there's kind of a misnomer out there where, but it's public, so it's not really doxing. Well, it is doxing, because just because it's public doesn't mean that you are entitled to share it to the masses. Because when you do that, it's one thing for somebody to look it up for their own sake, and they look at it and, for whatever intention they have of wanting to look at, research or whatever, but putting it out to the masses and, showing people, it's just gross. And, I think KJ is not concerned about people doing the same thing to her, because from what I've learned, she's like had a lot of her information taken off of, sites where you can do background checks and stuff. So she's,
and that's the thing too, what needs to be, and that is very important. And I always say that public records does not mean that you're not doxing. And if you, just like what KJ did, and she did take it down, but how hard is it to redact something? You call yourself a reporter, which I want proof that she's a reporter, because if she's a reporter, she is the most horrible, incompetent reporter I have ever seen in my life. No reporter acts like this. And if I'm not mistaken, it's like, if I sit here and think that Without a Crystal Ball does these things on purpose, if you're doing these things on purpose, how is it benefiting you? Yes, you may be making money, you're monetizing things like that, but are you growing? Are you thriving? No, you're not. I just don't see how. I don't even think she does this purposely. I think she is completely delusional. That's what I think.
I would agree with you too. And again, I mean, I don't care if you're making money or not. I guess at the end of the day, the way I look at it is, are you being a shitty person? Is what you're doing for the good or not? Because I feel like a lot of what she does is constantly putting people down. She's constantly putting the Duggars down, constantly putting the housewives down, constantly putting the teen moms down. I mean, look at all the people she's gotten into beef with, like Kale from Teen Mom. What was the other gal from Teen Mom that she got the video of? Remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
Like an audio or whatever.
Janelle.
Yeah, Janelle. And then with Todd Chrisley, she buddied up to his daughter, and then had a huge falling out with her. And then with the Duggars, buddied up to Aunt. What was it? What was the cousin? I can't remember what her name is right off the top of my head, but got close to her, and then she stepped away. So it's like, as soon as if you're giving her information, she's good with you. But as soon as you're like, oh, I don't like how you're acting, or I think you're kind of a vile person, then it's like, okay, well, I'll show
Or
you.
or you just give her boundaries. She's not good with boundaries, in my opinion. It's like any type of boundaries that you try to give her, she always oversteps those boundaries. And I feel like she really is delusional, because no matter who it is that if you can't be, she's very antisocial to me. Like, if you can't be a person that could just be a very decent human being and just be able to be on the internet, coexist, then what's the point of even being on the internet? To me, in my opinion, I think eventually one day she's going to get somebody hurt. And I'm not going to say the next time, but the way that she treats people, the way that she talks about people, the things that she does, eventually karma is going to happen. And I don't know when she has her thing with 7M or whoever, but something's got to give with her. She has to understand the magnitude of how she treats people. She has to understand the magnitude of slandering people. At some point, she literally has to have consequences for her actions. And the reason why she continues to act this way is because there has been no consequences. That's the problem. I feel like this case right here is the only time that, in my opinion, from watching KJ throughout, her career, for the little bit that I've been watching her, this is the only time where it was literally flipped on her. Things did not work out in her favor, because if you really think about it, most of the cases that she covers does work out in her favor.
Right. Nobody can ever verify her sources. They can't ever verify the information or anything like that. And, she doesn't think about, like, okay, you've got 2 parents and 2 step parents that are literally like so heartbroken right now. And, she constantly wants to talk about, and other people that aren't so nice want to talk about how Letitia, gave him up at 6, when he was young. Well, she had him at 16. She had her first child at 14 years old. I'm sorry, but I would think that that was a good thing, that she was able to at least be mature enough to say, hey, I can't do this. And so she signed over legal rights to her mother. I mean, people make it sound like she just gave her baby up to a stranger, and yeah, she went through some problems. You know what? We all do. But what if what she's doing now, these people are depressed? You can't tell me that they are not depressed. And all it takes is for that person to be close to the edge, depression wise, and what you do to them could literally push them over. And I think people are understanding what I'm trying to say with my words. And that's the last thing that, I mean, she doesn't realize there, like you said, there's gonna, at some point, I feel like she's either gonna find somebody that, unfortunately, something like that happens, and then of course she'll be like, it wasn't my fault, I didn't do anything, da 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 da. Or somebody's gonna show up to her house because she doesn't know how to shut her freaking mouth.
Right. That was the next thing I was gonna say, but didn't. And that's the thing too. It's like with her and the way that she acts, I just feel like at some point she is going to get consequences for her actions. Like, and I just hope that it doesn't turn in a bad way. You know what I mean? That's not the way that she should learn. How she should learn is if she's having to pay thousands of dollars a month to somebody that she has slandered. She's just so irresponsible with her platform. She doesn't care about other people, and she doesn't care who she hurts. And that's why people are so passionate about her. One of the main things that I always hear people say that cover her is somebody's going to hurt themselves one day because of her. Because of her constant bullying. She is a bully. Even with Dre, even with Letitia. In the beginning of this case, she was praising Letitia. She was flipping out on Dre. Like, how could you talk about this mother like that? She had a hard life, blah, 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 this, blah, 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 that. You go from that to literally making this woman look like she is a fraud. How do you go from one thing and then drastically go to something completely different just because things didn't work out in your favor? It's not as if you still couldn't cover the case. Everybody could cover the case, but no. She just can't cover the case like everybody else. She has to have the inside scoop. She has to have all the exclusives. She has to be she has to always be the one where she's playing recordings and all of the and audios. And if it's not all about her, then she's going to throw everyone else under the bus.
Yep.
And that's ridiculous. You can't just cover the case, talk about Dre or, her behavior, point out her behavior on your platform, and talk about whatever it is when it comes to the case, just like I'm doing. You can't be creative and be a creator and talk about this case without having to have the inside scoop on everything. That's what her problem is. That's why she continues to try to discredit Molly, because she's so upset that Letitia aligned herself and obviously took a better liking to Molly than KJ. That's all it is. Everybody you meet's not going to like you without a crystal ball. It is what it is. Most people you meet don't like you.
Right. And I was just thinking too, she was trying to say on one of those posts, like, oh, well, I was talking to Letitia when she heard from Dre that she could go and see Vaughn. Well, if anybody remembers exactly what that text said, it wasn't like, oh, hey, I totally forgive you. Go ahead and come down and see him. It was like, yeah, I'll let you see him, but you need to put out a statement stating X, Y, and Z.
Yep.
So what is it? I mean, KJ, she's just, oh my gosh, she's such a manipulator.
It doesn't get any better with her. Like I said, I told you guys that, and it's crazy. This was last week. I know it was maybe like 4 days ago. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to cover her with this case anymore. I'm just going to focus on Dre McCray and her behavior. But it's damn near impossible for me not to, because here she is. Her patterns never change, and it's crazy to me. When I first got involved with those groups, I think exposing Dre McCray and Justice for Vaughn, they literally only had like 1,000, 2,000 people when I first joined that group. And now they're already up to 30,000, 50,000. And what's crazy to me is as soon as I seen Without a Crystal Ball, as soon as I seen her, I said something. And I remember them putting up a post saying, anybody who has something to say about Without a Crystal Ball, we will block you, blah, 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 blah. But, and I'm not saying I told you so to the groups or anything like that, but what I am going to say is sometimes maybe take into consideration what somebody has to say, because the majority, obviously, we weren't wrong. We weren't wrong. We were trying, as soon as she watermarked that police report, as soon as I seen that, I flipped out. I'm like, why in the fuck is she watermarking this police report? This isn't her police report. She's not the one who got the police report. And if she did, that still doesn't mean she has to watermark it. Anybody can go get a police report. It's public records.
Right. What's funny is that one of the police reports that came out that was watermarked, you couldn't even see the top when it was first coming out. And then later she was putting one out where you could see that she had asked for the information. And so it's kind of like, and then she goes, well, I watermarked it because my name, because my name was at the top and my business. And it's like, okay, if your name and your business is at the top, then why watermark it?
Right.
It's there. And then that means it's actually like at the top of every page in red writing.
Right. Like, she's so disgusting. She's so possessive over the things that she has. She's so like, I got this. No one else is going to use it. Just like with those audios. It makes me very mad because I would like to go over those audios, but I don't trust Without a Crystal Ball. I don't trust her. I think if I was to, because it would have to be from her channel, if I was to take those audio clips, I don't trust that she wouldn't do something, like try to strike me or something, because that's how she initially was, even when she got the audio clips. They only want this on my channel. So if you take those audio clips, we already know the type of creator that she is. And I feel like she would do something like that.
Well, I guarantee you that if you did, because fair use is fair use, and if you did commentary on it and she struck your channel, I guarantee you if you put together a GoFundMe for attorney fees to fight her, I don't think you'd have a problem. I'm just saying. Let's get some like stars and hearts in the chat who would agree with that, because I don't think you'd have a problem fighting that. And I don't think she'd be dumb enough to do that either. And you brought up a good point. How many times have people heard Molly and Justice say, you know, use the stuff, you know, clip it, cut it, take it, spread it, whatever. How many times have we heard KJ say that?
Never.
Exactly.
Never. I've never even heard KJ promote somebody's channel before. I've never ever heard her do that.
No, in fact,
I don't know.
When Justin and Molly were on her panel, some people had like somebody was like talking about posting their links like we do when we talk about like other creators and stuff. We put them in the chat. And I guess as soon as that happened, she made a comment like, we're just going to stay here for now. And that was like her way to tell her mods, like, no, don't post their channels or anything. Because she doesn't want to work as a team. There's no, for KJ, it's I. There's no teamwork at all.
She didn't post their link?
No.
Wow. I thought she at least posted their link. She's horrible. Thank you for the heart.
We just talk about, even if they're not, you know, even if they're not on panel, you know, we talk about Renelle, we talk about Llama Girl on Twitter, talk about Bailey Sarion, we've talked about Paris Milan. I mean, just like lots and lots of creators, depending on what we're talking about. If it's makeup, we send links for that, and it's just a thing you do out of respect.
Like, Magician's Manor, AT2, like I try to promote people's channels even if they don't promote my damn channel. I don't give a shit. I'm always going to try to be a better person than I was the day before. You know, it's just a person has to do something like really bad for me or bad to me in order for me to look at them in that way. I feel like there's room for everyone and everyone should promote everyone. Unfortunately, not everyone's like that, and it sucks. It really, really does. Even when I am, you know, when I become a bigger creator, and I always say when, I'm not going to say if, when that happens, I am still always going to work with smaller creators and give them recognition no matter what. And I will always make sure that, and I will always make sure that people that are surrounded around me, if I don't do it, that they're on my ass. So I do that. That's important. It's important to give recognition to where it's due. It's not all about yourself, because I believe in good karma, and that shit does come back to you. When you're doing wrong, you're going to get the wrath of it. It's going to come back on you. When you're doing right, you're going to benefit from that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always going to be that person that's going to give recognition and work with smaller creators. I don't care. Like, let's just say with this case, if I'm a bigger creator, I'd be working with a smaller creator every day. What's your opinion? What's your opinion? What's your opinion? I just feel like that's important. It's important. And if more people did that on YouTube, more people would thrive. But people don't want to do that, especially bigger creators. But it is what it is. You just have to look at it like it is what it is. Yes, all the YouTube channels I trust are people who always compliment others' channels and talk positively about other channels, shining light on others. Never dims your own light. Thank you. That's what I mean. Like, I'm not a jealous-hearted person. As long as you're good to me, I'm going to be good to you. KJ has always been like this. Even before she was a YouTuber, it was all about her being the star of the story, never the story itself.
So
karma,
true.
Yeah, karma is coming for KJ, just a matter of time. Who is 7M? I have to look more into that. Is that a show?
No, 7M is the name of the company. Do you remember when she was covering like the dancers? And she was trying to say like this one gal was like taken away from her family and kind of held. So the company, there's a guy who owns this like dance company, or kind of like promotes these dancers like in California. Mm-hmm. And then he's also like a pastor, has like a church called like Shekinah Church. And So, but she was saying stuff about him, like that, crazy stuff, like that he was like sex trafficking people and like
Where was
waterboarded
she reading that
people.
from?
And
She just made that up.
her sources. I mean, it's the
Oh.
quickest, usually like when she was with Toddy, went against Toddy Westbrook and that whole thing, like, that was just, she'll say like, oh, it was dismissed. And then because I was going to counter, then we settled. No, B, that's not what happened. Actually, what happened was it was dismissed because of jurisdiction, and then they were going to file it in Minnesota. But because you finally like pulled your head out for a split second, you were like, oh crap. And so you settled and you threw Clark Swanson under the bus, who was your verified source. And so that's why that settled. It didn't settle because, I mean, I will go out on a limb here and say that I highly doubt Toddy was worried that KJ was going to countersue her. I mean, KJ was literally telling people that Toddy's husband took his own mother off life support because he was trying to collect life insurance. I mean, it was nasty. And usually, yeah, and even now, like, and then with Todd Chrisley, she throws out what happened with him recently as if that has anything to do with what he did to KJ. And, likely that might not go anywhere, but that doesn't have anything to do with why he's suing her. She still said things that weren't nice, like even with the tape. His daughter has now come out and said, that she found out a lot of stuff about the tape and that what originally came out wasn't true. She's called out KJ multiple times to tell her to shut up. Amy Duggar has done the same thing, being like, hey, shut your mouth. With Summit, I've never seen one of her lawsuits go to trial as fastly as this, as quick as this one has. And now I don't remember what the date is, but it's scheduled for trial in 2023. So,
why so far back, I wonder?
I think because with COVID, it really pushed a lot of lawsuits back, if you think about it, because for so long, people couldn't even go to trial. I mean, think about it. The Parkland shooter trial right now, like, thankfully that guy pled guilty, but they're going through whether or not they're just in the stage for if he's going to be spend life in prison or get the death penalty. And that happened in 2018, and he was caught immediately and he pled guilty. And so here we are 4 years later, and it's not even a full trial. It's just for the penalty phase. So
Right.
I think that that's why. But she's going to end up taking off the wrong person. And whether it's legally that she gets held liable or something bad happens to her or something, that person just gets so depressed. It's
Right.
It's sad because I feel like it's only a matter of time before something goes really wrong having to do with her. I feel like I need to like send her the book, The Secret. Maybe she needs to read that.
Yeah.
It'll help her a little bit.
And that's the thing too. That's why all these channels, I feel like most of the people that I talk to, like I said, that's their main reason for bringing awareness about her, because they really do feel like she's going to get somebody hurt, and even if that was to happen, I still can see KJ not taking any responsibility or accountability for that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No accountability for anything, nothing. Even with Dre, like, me covering this case, you guys, I'm still going to be as respectful as possible. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to drag her. And like I said, and I will continue to say, obviously everyone is concerned for the kids, and everyone has that right to be, because they're children, and children are beautiful. They're innocent. They deserve to have a stable life. My concern for the children is valid. Everyone else's concern for the children is valid. However, her ex-husband, who literally is going to try to file for custody of them, I feel like if people are being too harsh on Dre, I've watched Dre. I watched her for years. And I really do believe she will go to Mexico. She will take those kids and she will leave.
Right. People need to think about that.
Yeah, people need to be very careful, because she is not going to she's not going to lose those kids without the fight of her life. because that's how narcissists are. She's not going to. And if it comes down to it, she is someone who would do that, to go to Mexico and then what? You know what I'm saying? I just think you just have to be careful the way that you commentate on her. Yes, absolutely, Amber. Yes. I think if it came down to it, yes, she would take those kids and leave and cross the border. So you just have to be careful of how you handle this case and the way that you call her out. Just like the glare calling everybody an asshole who's covering this case. I disagree.
Oh, God. Mike, I mean,
I
like he has any room to talk with when he covered the Michael Long case. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Right. I disagree. I don't think that there's anything wrong with talking about this case. And I think that some people are more sensitive about it than others. Some people just don't see. We all have different opinions and we all see things differently. But the point is that you still have to cover every case with integrity. That's important. And I definitely know that Dre is not going to lose her children without a fight. I will tell you that she's not going to.
And people also don't realize that with the kids, there's a difference between the kids and that versus Vaughn, because with the kids, there's other organizations that automatically step in when there's an issue, like CPS, like the police, all advocacy groups, stuff like that. With Vaughn, it's different because there's going to take a lot more legal, I feel like in a way, I don't know if I'm making any sense. Hopefully people understand what I'm trying to say, but like with the girl's father, like my concern for the kids, to be honest, is a little bit more worried for Raza, because of the situation. And like, because the girls have their father that can fight. Now with Raza, that's different because his father is in a coma now. And then with Vaughn, that's even different because other organizations and advocacy groups have to be contacted, and then they, in hopes that they will step in and try to help and oversee, like whether it's medical care or anything like that. But that's why I feel like first and foremost, we really have to push for Vaughn to be able to be protected while he's in the hospital and get the best care, while he's in there, and make sure that something doesn't happen by somebody doing something to him in the hospital, and the children, yes, they are innocent and they need to be protected as well. But I feel like given what the father of the girls is doing, that if CPS gets involved, I can tell you this firsthand because I've had to do that with my daughter's father. And when that happens, his other two children, and they have a different mother, but they were also like interviewed and all that sort of stuff. So once CPS is involved in your home, it's not like they're only going to concentrate on the girls and then they're going to leave Raza out of it. Like, so it's just a little different, but I'm going to hop down.
Okay. So thank you for coming on.
You're welcome.
Bye, sweetie. There was a comment that I read, missing in life. I 100% agree. Look how easy she's been going back and forth already on public display. Exactly. So it would be very easy for her to cross the border. I just think everybody should be very careful with the way that they cover this case and how they're talking about Dre and different things like that, because I've watched her long enough that she's not going to just give up her kids like that. She will fight. She will. It's also important to remember that Dre is gripped by addiction. People aren't the real them in addiction, and it's a subject it's a subject that needs to be dealt with sensitivity and always be careful with. Exactly. And that's how I look at it. I'm not going to drag this woman or anything like that. There's definitely some questionable things about her, but you still have to be very careful with the way that you speak on her. And Dave, you said something too. She's not supporting Andrea because she's concerned. KJ speculated Dre was an M. She just wants to be the one with the other angle. It's so gross. I agree, Dave, 100%. In the beginning of this, it is very clear that she called Andrea the M word, which is absolutely ridiculous. I will never be okay with that because at the end of the day, we can speculate. We can go over the case and give our opinions and different things like that. But at the end of the day, we don't know what happened because we weren't there. And now all of a sudden she's flipping the scripts and like, I know why Dre did this and it makes sense. And let me back up her claims as to why she did this and throw other people under the bus. And it's just wrong. And when I seen it, I was literally, when I seen it, I was literally like, are you freaking serious? She literally has no kind of integrity. She has no kind of class. She has no kind of, I don't even know what to say about her. That is the boyfriend right there. T Breezy World. Goose, thank you for posting the DB info. Yes. You guys have been amazing. Sparkle, Goose, you guys are amazing and I appreciate you guys. She called Dre the N word. No, the M word. Yes, see. The M word, not the N word, honey. Hey, Beautifully Broken. Also, there's a new S hotline number and 988. I was told. Yes. Goose usually posts that all the time too. Gemini. Are you a Gemini? Me too. Gemini. Gemini mama. We are very complex people. Von's mom said she would fight for Raza. She said Raza needs her too, and Von. I agree. I don't think, I remember her saying she hasn't even met Raza before. So that's horrible. That's just so sad. So, so sad. And that's why I was constantly getting on and talking about Katie Joy, because every single time at this time in the beginning of the case, she was aligning herself with Letitia and the family. And every single time that she would put these obviously disparaging videos out and audios out about Dre, she would always say, I asked for the family's approval. I asked for the family's approval. They're okay with this video. Always inserting that. There's so many reasons as to why they don't want anything to do with her. The reasons why they don't want anything to do without a crystal ball are very, very valid. But the point is that when you're sitting there putting out all these disparaging things about your grandchild's mother, they're not going to look at Letitia in the same light. And I can understand why Letitia wouldn't want to align. I don't think that she got their approval with everything she put out. She's a liar. She lied about everything from the very beginning. She acted like she was in close contact with the family. And that was a lie. You know what I mean? I've been watching Dre through paparazzi. She definitely is problematic, but getting CPS involved when none of us know all the details, not cool. KJ was all for that. Just deleted post ago. I agree. I understand people concerned about the kids, but I don't believe in overstepping boundaries when it comes to that. I don't do that, nor do I condone going past houses. I don't agree with any of that, but that's just my stance on it. Everyone is different, and I don't know who called the CPS. I have no idea when it comes to that. I just know that kids are off limits, in my opinion. I feel like now that the father has stepped in, when it comes to the girls and somebody steps in for Raza, that they are, they got an attorney, that's when nobody should be talking about the kids, in my opinion. She does not want to be around her own kid, her exact words. She gets depressed on Mother's Day and his birthday because it reminds her of the sad day he was born. She yells at him on lives. I've never seen that, Wendy. I've never seen that, but like I said, I don't talk about kids. I just don't. But that's horrible. If that's true, that's horrible. CPS will stop Katie as she is unstable. All of this can be given to CPS on Katie too. That's true. I think it's just very, very important to try to handle this case, if you're talking about it, with as much sensitivity as possible. And I think and pray that everything turns out for the best. And most importantly, why we started talking about this case to begin with, which is for Vaughn to see his mother, because he should have never been kept away from his own mother. And if Dre would have handled this differently, we wouldn't be talking about this right now. She called attention to herself. And I think without a crystal ball, somebody better tell that Dre's ex-husband, the father, that he does not know who he's aligning himself with, and he needs to definitely do his research, because getting involved with her is a mistake. She got the GoFundMe for him. He has attorneys now, and I think that's great that she got the GoFundMe for him and all of that kind of stuff. That's great. And she helped him out. But at the end of the day, she's not even directly talking to him. She's not in direct contact with him. It's his friend. There's nothing to back up her claims of even if that is his friend. You just don't know. You can't believe everything that woman says. You can't believe nothing that woman says. So it's very important to just, hopefully, anybody who talks to him, to warn him to be careful. Good. He needs to run from her. She helped him. That's great. Thank her. Keep it moving. There's nothing more. There's no reason for you to have any more contact with her. And I'm talking about the friends, anything. There's no reason for it anymore, because I'm telling you, it's going to turn out bad if you continue to associate with her, whether it's the friend or the father, or it's some random person pretending to be the friend. Just stay away from her. They do try to find an eligible placement with family first before looking elsewhere, just hoping for the best. Me too. Absolutely. Has anyone credible confirmed that she's talking to the dad's friend? That's what I'm saying. We don't know. She doesn't know. Nobody knows. And if that is the case, like, you're sitting here, you're putting up a GoFundMe, you're not in direct contact with the father, it's his friend. How do you know that that's him? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just weird to me. And if she is in direct contact with the friend's father or whatever, they need to break all contact. That's all I'm saying, because it's going to turn out just the way it did with Vaughn's dad, stepmother, and Letitia. And no one deserves to go through this. With all the things that this family is having to deal with, they don't need to be worried about their personal information being put out there, even if it's public. Nobody knew about that until she put it out there, to the masses. So just, I will continue. Well, supposedly she's not covering this case anymore. Whatever. I don't believe it. I really don't. I feel like she is obsessed with this case. And I feel like when Katie latches onto a case, it's really hard for her to let go. She's still posting different things to discredit other creators. So in my opinion, I don't see her. She says she's going to stop because of the threat she's getting, all of these things, which is the same song and dance with her with every case she covers. But in my opinion, she's not going to stop talking about this case. Okay. And as long as she continues to talk about this case, I will continue to call her out on it. And it's it's just that simple. So you guys are amazing. It is 3:00 here. We've been live for a long time. Thank you guys for all of your amazing comments, for coming in here, spending time with me. It means so much to me that you guys care about what I have to say. And I know she won't. And neither will I. So whatever. And you guys always interact and make the conversation so much better. Your input means a lot to me. So I thank you guys so much for being here. I'll probably be live tomorrow, if not tomorrow, the next day. And thank you, Foxy and the Boxy. It's 2 months with Vaughn. Are we going to pray? Yes, we should pray. For those of you who have a believe in whatever it is that you believe in, continue to pray for Vaughn and his family. And if you want me to pray, we can close it out with a prayer. Who said that? Yes, Faith. So let's just pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we pray that Vaughn continues to get better. We pray that he overcomes this coma, makes it out of this coma, and is still able to live his life. He's young, he has his whole life ahead of him, and we pray that he makes it out of this coma, continues to fight, and that he is reunited with his family, and that he lives a happy and healthy life. Amen. Amen. Continue to pray, you guys, and I love you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. If you guys need to contact me, contact me through email, Facebook, all that stuff. If you need to give me information, and just thank you so much for being here. Yes, this is definitely the Insomniac crew. I'm gonna actually have to add a name or something like to my members, like Insomniacs. I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna change one of the names because we are definitely Insomniacs over here. And proud of it. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much, Sparkle. You are amazing. Thank you for being amazing, Ma. Thank you to Goose, as usual, for being amazing. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for interacting. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Yes, open your eyes, Vaughn, and continue to pray for Vaughn and his family, and Dre and her family as well. Have a good night, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Deuces.